Good evening and a warm welcome to Solent Soccer Night. I'm David Howes. For the next 3 hours we have an action-packed night where we will be bringing you football from here in the studio to out across the Solent in the Isle of Wight. We have plenty of non-stop footballing action to bring you on St Patrick's Day this evening. Our web and social media team will be keeping you up to date with all the latest updates and behind the scenes content from tonight. To keep up to date, make sure to follow along with solentsportsnews.com as well as our Instagram and X accounts simply by searching Solent Sports News. First, let's introduce our panel for this evening. Reigning in from Bamber Bridge, Lancashire by way of Southampton, he has been to 46 of the 92 and he'll be watching Manchester City attempt to find a way back from a 3-0 deficit against Real Madrid. It's Declan Murphy. Declan, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, thanks David. Should be in for a cracker here at the Etihad between City and Real. Hoping for a comeback, so yeah, should be a good game.
Hoping for 3 goals from Pep Guardiola's side, potentially. And next in the panel, reigning in from Milton Keynes, Buckinghamshire by way of Southampton. He has done 45 of the 92 and he'll be covering Arsenal versus Bayer Leverkusen. It's Leighton Hewlett. Leighton, how are you doing this evening?
Good, thank you, David. Glad to be here. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a lot of goals and Arsenal hopefully to not play around the back as much and just go full force with their team that they have.
Hope for a better game than last time, just 2 goals and that. Hopefully you get some more goals tonight.
Yeah, hopefully many more goals.
Many more. And from Ferndale, Bournemouth by way of Southampton, he has done 25 of the 92 and he'll be covering Chelsea versus Paris Saint-Germain. It's Josh White-Jones. Josh, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you, David, and looking forward to hopefully a good night of football.
Let's see if Chelsea can come back tonight. Obviously 3 goals to catch up with. It'll be a difficult task for Liam Rossini's side, won't it?
Yes, it will be a very tricky game. They've had a tough week really with Newcastle and the Reece James injury and then the transfer ban. But we've seen PSG, you know, against Barcelona before they collapse, so you never know. You
never know. It is football. And finally, from Torquay, in the English Riviera, he has done 33 of the 92. It's Max Cochrane. Max, how are you doing this evening?
David, I'm doing wonderful, thank you. I'm covering 2 games tonight. Currently, Sporting Clubs of Portugal beating Bodo Glimt 1-0 on the night, 3-1 down on aggregate. And then later on, I'll be watching Wrexham again as they travel to Watford.
It'll be interesting to see if Wrexham can put more pressure on that playoff push, won't it?
Yeah, well, it's sort of a must-win game for Watford tonight. I think they're 8 points off Wrexham, currently in 6th place. So, yeah, must-win for the Hornets.
See if Watford can keep their promotion hopes up and see if Wrexham can really push on. But before we get into that, we have over 13 reporters out at stadiums up and down the country covering matches from League One right down to the Velocity Wessex Premier Division. Here is a sneak peek of what to expect this evening.
Good afternoon, my name's Alfie Faulkner and I am here on the sunny Isle of Wight with Solent Sports News today, where East Calsvix are taking on AFC Stoneham tonight at 7:45 at the Beatrice Avenue ground. Top of the league, Stoneham are looking to dominate tonight following East Calsvix, who are on a 3-game losing run, whereas currently AFC Stoneham on a 24 unbeaten run in all competitions. It's going to be a good one. Stay tuned on Solent Sports News.
So tonight we're going to a football club with lots of history and a place with lots of history. But first we've got a few things to do. We're at the second oldest UK theme park in Wicksteed Park, founded in 1921 by Charles Wicksteed. It's still somewhat popular, as you can see behind me. It's plenty of people here. Yeah. As you can see, there's lots of big rides behind me, really, really scary. Up there with Alton Towers, really. I mean, they're still really active, as you can see, you know, really, really entertaining. And they're jam-packed today. All right, I'm going to ask some locals on what they think of the place. Come with me. So, guys, what do you think of Wicksteed Park? Guys? I think they declined to answer. Wicksteed Park has over 147 acres and 25 different rides. It's also home to a Grade 2 listed water chute, as you can see, is also firmly in use still. Alright, I'm ready for some classic cars. Let's go ride some classic cars, mate. This will be sick. Oh. It's shut. That's Wixley Park, still booming with excitement, even opening over 105 years ago now, you know, and it's still full of that excitement, that raw energy it had when it opened. Plenty of people still here. Yeah.
Right, we're at Tesco, the extra version. A bit hungry to be honest, not ate for a while, so I think it's time for a bit of a meal deal. No, chat, you're joking. Chat. They don't have the coconut water. No coconut water, so safe, get an Oasis. Bit of a reach, cool. Oasis secured. Secured. That's safe.
Good shout.
Yeah. Nice, I'm happy with that, I'm happy with it.
So I'm going to put you on game. If you don't know, I'll make you know. Robinson's Raspberry and Apple. There's a lot to offer here for meal deal choices. Good thing about here. Good old chicken triple, mate. 6 extra, mate.
We're here at a park opposite the ground. Cross my drive.
And sometimes I can't help but frown. Then I remember what I meant for. It's so simple, I just say, gotta just celebrate. It's gonna be A-OK. Life's too short to waste away. One step at a time,
So we're outside the football club now, but up on the opposite side of the road is the biggest UK manufacturing Weetabix factory. Just there in use all the time, but it's there opposite the grounds. And then back on this side of the road is the football club with the first front of shirt match sponsor in the UK, and also the club with the most FA Cup goals in the competition. It's Kettering Town Football Club we're at today. They face AFC Sudbury in the Southern League Premier Central.
I'm James McLean outside the Memorial Stadium here in Bristol for this crunch match between Bristol Rovers and Shrewsbury Town to get away from the League 2 relegation places. Bristol Rovers sit currently 19th in the League 2 table, and even a win tonight will still see them in that position, as Shrewsbury are one place ahead in 18th on 41 points and Bristol only on 37. Bristol Rovers' last 5 are 1-3, drawn 1 and lost 1. Shrewsbury 1-3 and lost 2. The top scorers to be on the lookout for tonight for Bristol Rovers is Fabrizio Cavengan, who is on 14 goals this season. For Shrewsbury, they'll be looking at John Marquis, who is on 6. And Shrewsbury fans and players have not liked the sight of this club in recent years. They have failed to win in their last 5 meetings with Bristol Rovers, and their last meeting on New Year's Day ended at Shrewsbury 3-0 win to Bristol Rovers, in which Cavengan scored a hat-trick. Kick-off is at 7:45.
Everybody, you joined me in Crawley. Not quite a football stadium though, after a couple of unsuccessful train delays and losing a 100-metre sprint with a bus. I'm currently in the town centre, but I'm making my way to my ground. Don't worry. A quick little thing about the game. Crawley sitting just one place outside the relegation zone, 1 point out, and Barnet, well them boys are in their better land. They are sitting slap bang in the mid-table. I look forward to seeing you later on.
I'm Darcy Harris-Norman and I'm here at the Plough Lane, the home of AFC Wimbledon, as they're set to face Leyton Orient in the London derby. Both teams will be desperate for 3 points, as AFC Wimbledon want to bounce back from their defeat on the weekend and Leyton Orient want to continue their wins. It's set to be a very exciting game.
Cheers, guys. Now, Max, I believe you are currently watching Bodo Glimt versus Sporting Lisbon. What is happening at the Jose Alvarez Stadium, Max?
Well, Sporting, in the meantime, have got another goal, and it was the Portuguese national Pedro Goncalves. He just got in behind. A ball was played to, I believe, was Francisco Trincao, and he just played it across to his fellow Portuguese. And now Sporting are just 1 goal behind the Norwegian side.
So 20 minutes to go in that one. Be interested to see if Sporting get another goal, take it to extra time. It'll be interesting to see which game you stay with from there. Do you go to Watford, Wrexham, or do you stay with this?
I've got to stick with the Champions League. I mean, this game is actually, you know, it's getting exciting, really exciting, as Sporting Lisbon are just bombarding Bodo Glimt at the moment, and I don't expect it to end 2-0. I do expect Sporting to maybe get a goal, but at the same time, Bodo Glimt could easily just, you know, go on the counter-attack and just seal it.
Yeah, we'll have to see, Max. But speaking of the Champions League, we have some team news from our correspondent Declan Murphy. What's going on at Etihad? How is City and Real Madrid lining up this evening, Declan?
Well, City this evening, they've got Donnarumma in goal. It's a back four of Núñez, Kusanov, Diaz and Aït-Nouri, which means Guehi, he's unfortunately dropped to the bench this evening. Rodri, he's alone in midfield by himself, and then it's an attack of Cherki, Bernardo Silva, Reinders, Doku and Haaland, which means Semenyo's also dropped to the bench. So 2 debuts for them in the Champions League in the last round, and they've both been dropped for this big clash. Not sure what Pep's thinking there, but he knows what he's doing. As for Real Madrid, it's a 4-4-2 it looks like, with Courtois, Trent, Rudiger, Howson and Fran Garcia. Valverde and Gula playing as the wide midfielders. Pitarch and Tchouaméni in the 2 in midfield, with Diaz and Vinny Jr. up front. So yeah, bit of a different team for Real Madrid. Not the usual formation that they're used to playing, but should be a good one for them.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola seems to take those risks when the pressure's high, doesn't he?
Yeah, he takes a lot of risks, especially in that Champions League final. That's the one that people go to against Chelsea when he drops some of his big plays for that one. So I'm not sure what he's doing, but he always seems to have a reasoning for doing what he's doing. So yeah, should be a good one.
Let's see if Pep can work his magic. And Leighton, how are both the Gunners and Leverkusen lining up this evening at the Emirates Stadium?
Well, Arsenal lining up how you'd pretty much expect them to line up. Saka's playing his 3rd game in 1 week, which is a big surprise. So hopefully they're not pushing him too hard so he gets injured again. As expected, Jurrien Timber is still out. He went off on the weekend in the 38th minute with a groin injury, as it looked like. Ben White has jumped in for him instead of Mosquera. And they're playing in the 4-2-3-1, whereas Bayer Leverkusen are playing in the 3-4-2-1. And it's normal as what you would see from Bayer Leverkusen. Tapsoba, Quansah at the back, Poku in the midfield with Garcia and Grimaldo, and Confer out front, who had a very, very good game last time out in the Champions League.
Cheers, Leighton and Josh. It's a massive task for Liam Rossini's side this evening. 3 goals they got to try and come back from. How are Chelsea lining up at Stamford Bridge tonight?
Yeah, we've heard a little bit about the issues they've had with some leaks in the lineups, and it's actually come true. They've made 4 changes, Chelsea. They've mixed it up a little bit. Sanchez will start in goal, and then the back 4 is Cucurella, and then Jarrell Hatter and Malang Sarr in centre-backs. Quite a young pairing. Chalobah at right back. Andre Santos comes in midfield with Caicedo. Then Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto. Enzo Fernandez again in that 10. And then João Pedro up top as well. Estevao is actually back on the bench for Chelsea, which is really positive. And PSG just make the 1 change. They've got Stefanov in goal. Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Nuno Mendes, Zaire Emery, Vitinha, João Neves, that midfield we've come to know that really controls and dictates. And in the front 3 of Barcola, Dembele and Kavicha Kvaratskhelia comes in, the man that scored twice in the last leg, and he really partners what could be a really strong and dangerous Paris Saint-Germain attack.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about Chelsea at the moment. We've seen the news over the past few days, and also on Saturday with the little huddle. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Saturday was kind of the epitome of it, and now Liam Rossini has said he doesn't want them to do it because it's antagonising them a little bit, catching the ref in the middle of it. I'm not sure about having the ball in the centre and surrounding it. It's all about mind games, I think, and sportsmanship. It's getting a few too many headlines. I think they might actually scrap it tonight.
Yeah. Do you feel like Liam Rossini is maybe coming under a little bit of pressure now? He seems to be struggling recently. He had a very good start, but maybe the wheels have fallen off a little bit for him.
I think definitely. I mean, Chelsea, they've spent a lot of money in recent times, and Liam Rossini's came in. He's replaced Maresca, who was quite successful, won the Club World Cup. And they've lost 2 in a row. They might lose 3 in a row, which is the first time since 2025 tonight. And I think if you go out the Champions League and you don't get Champions League in the Premier League as well, his job might come into contention at the end of the season. Especially with their owners, they're very ruthless with their managers if they're not succeeding their expectations, aren't they? Yeah, and it's Chelsea. We've sort of come... You expect Chelsea managers to not last that long, and you're looking at the amount of managers that are available this summer, and your Oli Glasners, your Andoni Iraolas who are out of contract. There'll be plenty of options. Cheers, Josh. And Max, if Bodo Glimt and Sporting Lisbon obviously stays 2-0, you'll be going on to the Watford Wrexham game. I believe you have some team news at Vicarage Road for us. How are Watford lining up? You don't have any team news?
I don't at the moment. I've been focusing on Sporting's match.
Attention turned to that then. But we'll go back to Declan Murphy. City versus Real Madrid. Obviously, City have won Champions League for a very long time now. Do you feel like maybe Pep Guardiola is running his course? He's obviously didn't win the Premier League last year, may not win it this year. Do you feel he has to win a trophy this season potentially?
I'd say he has to win one of the big 2, either the Premier League or the Champions League. I think he'll probably stay another year, but there's rumours that he might leave at the end of the season. I know there was talks that they were speaking to Maresca. That was a bit of the frosty behaviour with Chelsea. Obviously, Maresca, he lost his job in the end, so he is out of contract. He was obviously City's youth manager for a bit, but I'm not sure if Pep... He just needs one of the big 2 trophies, I think, this year for City to get them going and getting back on track, I guess.
And Leighton, do you feel like the quadruple could be on for Arsenal, Carabao Cup? You obviously got Southampton in the FA Cup, you've got Bayer Leverkusen tonight, and they're really running away with the league at the moment, arguably.
This is, in theory, their best chance. Obviously, they finished top of the Champions League group stage with 24 points. They haven't lost a game yet, I believe, in the Champions League this season. This is their best chance, and I feel like even in the Prem, that game against Everton on the weekend was huge for them to even go and push towards getting the title, with then City coming up after and losing. This is Arsenal's year, and if they could do the quadruple, it's one better than City did that time. Will then Mikel Arteta take over what Pep has done with not being able to win the quad?
Obviously, he had Sir Alex Ferguson do the triple with Manchester United in the 90s as well. Arteta will be overtaking that great legacy.
Yeah, I don't think, unfortunately for Mikel Arteta, I don't think you can overtake what Sir Alex Ferguson did for the game. He's still not been around long enough as a manager to even overtake that, to even do it this early in his career, to possibly even have a shot at winning the quadruple is huge. So we can hope they can go on and do it and prove football wrong. But I think the quad might be too much of an early stage at this point.
Obviously, Max Downman stealing the headlines on Saturday. He got that second goal against Everton. He's really come into play now, hasn't he?
Yeah, 16 years old. I don't even remember what I was doing at 16. To be playing in the Premier League, scoring, and made his debut when he was 15, let's remember. He's only just turned 16. To come on and score and control that game against Everton, really, with the assist. Great ball across to Hicapia, who then played it on to Gyökeres to score. He's just coming in, he's just gliding across the pitch. You didn't know what you're seeing from the man at this young age. It's incredible.
He left a very experienced midfielder in Kieran Dewsbury-Hall on his backside, didn't he?
He did, indeed.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Max Downman he's obviously on the bench tonight. We'll have to see if he can get one against Leverkusen at the Emirates. Well, Josh, PSG, they obviously won the Champions League last season. Could you see Luis Enrique's side potentially doing it back to back?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were doubts about PSG in the group stage. They struggled a little bit, didn't they? But I think the way they played against Chelsea, why not? They've got, in the attacking ranks, they've got all the options, your Dembélés, your Doués, your Kvaratskhelia. I think they've got so many attackers that can hurt teams. And that midfield, PSG averaged the most possession in the Champions League. Vitinha has the most passes per 90. But then you've also got that solid foundation at the back of Pacho, of Marquinhos, of Hakimi, who many consider to be the best right-back in world football. I think if they match up, I think they play Liverpool, Galatasaray, if they win, and then Bayern Munich. I think that's where you're going to see, really, in my opinion, the winner of the Champions League might come from that side of Bayern Munich or Liverpool or PSG. So it'll be really interesting to see.
Obviously, Bayern and Liverpool, they've won it over the years, but it's been quite a while now, so that'd be a really interesting final if we had a Bayern Munich against a PSG or a Liverpool against a PSG.
Yeah, and you've also got Arsenal on the other side, so that could be, I think that would really intrigue me, like a Bayern Munich or a PSG against Arsenal, where you have that really lightning attack of Elise and Kane or Kvaratskhelia and Dembele against sort of Saliba and Gabriel. It'll be really intriguing.
It'd be interesting to see if Bodo Glimt can do an Ajax from 2019. Can the underdog story go on for them potentially?
I think we'd all love to see it. I mean, Max is watching the game and they're just about hanging on against Sporting, but I think every fan, if you're not supporting a team in the Champions League, I think you want Bodo Glimt to win, and what they've done is incredible. A lot of Norwegian players who are sort of in their prime, and they've just, amazing underdog story.
Max, obviously, Bodo, they're not in their league season. They've just been through their pre-season. Do you reckon that's been a real benefit to them against Sporting Lisbon over the two legs?
Yeah, quite possibly. They were supposed to start the season over the weekend just gone, but I think the league has sort of postponed the game last weekend and the game this weekend, almost as like a benefactor for Bodo Glimt. Although it looks like now, I think there might be a VAR coming up, as it seems the ball has struck one of the Bodo Glimt defenders' arms, as it is going to VAR now. It did look like it, struck the arm, not off like the body onto the arm, straight from the cross onto the arm. So, you can come back to me in a few seconds about that. But no, I think when you look at Bodo Glimt's story this season, you know, I don't think they won a game before Christmas, and then beating Man City as their first, you know, Champions League win. I think that was remarkable. To then go to Madrid to beat Atletico Madrid, and then obviously beating last year's finalist Inter Milan in the sort of qualifier round to get to the round of 16. I think what they've done over the last, you know, 2 months is remarkable.
There's a lot of talk about obviously them playing on the artificial pitch. Do you reckon that's helped them in the Champions League this campaign?
Potentially, as the referee goes to the monitor. Obviously, most of the teams that are in the Champions League will be, you know, training on grass pitches, you know, state-of-the-art pitches, maybe not used to the sort of artificial ground. So potentially, also travelling up to the Arctic Circle, you know, that's not a regular occurrence, as a penalty's just been awarded. Could be 3-0, 3-1 aggregate here.
Very interesting match. We'll come back to you shortly. We're going to go to Harvey Guerin, who is at the Wimborne Town against Walton and Hersham. Here's Harvey earlier from today.
Here at the Wyatt Home Stadium tonight, Wimborne will be facing off against Walton and Hersham. Wimborne have only won 2 games in 2026, with Walton and Hersham winning 5 in a row so far. But Wimborne will be confident, as Walton and Hersham have not won in Dorset so far this season. Walton and Hersham are, of course, top of the league with 12 points to spare on second Gloucester, so they'll be looking to extend that point total this evening.
Cheers for that, Harvey. We'll look forward to seeing all the action in Dorset between Wimborne Town and Walton and Hersham. Going back to Max Cochrane. Max, has the penalty been taken yet?
It is literally stepping up now, and he scored. 3-1 aggregate. I mean, not many people expected Sporting to come straight out of the blocks and potentially get the 3 goals back, but they've well and truly dominated tonight, and they've got their rewards as of now. Obviously, there's still 12 minutes of normal time left, and it was Luis Suarez, just not obviously the one that everyone knows, but he's been the top goal scorer for Sporting in the Champions League this season, adding another one to his collection, and he sends keeper the wrong way, and it is 3-all on aggregate.
Really Borges, this side will be hoping that they can send that to extra time, Max. Obviously, Sporting didn't play themselves on the weekend. Do you reckon that's helped them have some fresh legs going in tonight? Obviously 3-0 up now.
Potentially, but having said that, also Bodo Glimt didn't have the game at the weekend. I just think also having the home advantage in Europe is big for whatever club are at home, and obviously Bodo Glimt has benefited from that the week prior. And now Sporting are benefiting from it, as you know, Bodo Glimt are now thrown on players to potentially go and get that goal to take them through.
Now going back to the other game in the Champions League, Real Madrid, Manchester City. Declan, I believe you've got some facts about the Real Madrid manager with a certain local head coach in Tom Dereka. What facts have you got for us this evening?
Well, this season in the Premier League International Cup, Arbeloa, he made an appearance at St Mary's as the Real Madrid under-21s manager that day. And the Southampton under-21s manager that day was Tom Dereka, and that game ended in a 1-1 draw. Bazunu got an assist that day as well. He's not at Southampton anymore, but it's a bit of a weird game. Obviously, since then, both of them have gone on to bigger and better things. But yeah, it's quite a local one, and yeah, he's done one over Pep this year, but he's not done one over Tom Dereka, which is a bit odd.
It'd be interesting to see if Southampton can get promotion to the Premier League, potentially not far off the playoffs. But before we go talking any more Champions League, we go over to Max Parsons-Williams and Luke Upton, who are at Crawley Town.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Like David said, here at the Crawley Town. My name is Max. I'm joined by Luke Upton. We've got some team news for you. Starting off with the host, Jacob Chapman, in between the sticks at Crawley, Scott Malone, Gerald Bardrami, Charlie Barker, Johnny Russell, Dion Pereira as the back line. Jay Williams is the skipper for the host, Taylor Richards, Kellen Gordon, Gladdy Lolis, and Daniel Orsi complete the starting lineup. The substitutions for the host, Harry Forster, Justin Frozage, Eddie Adiemi, Akin Odemeo, Toby Adriamo and Ronan Darcy. For Barnet, the Bees, who have travelled all the way across London today, Kieran Slicker in goal, Danny Colligne, Adam Senior, Callum Stead, Idris Kanu, Ryan Glover, Mark Shelton, Kabango Shashemi Ganga, who started the season at Crawley. Then it's Romani, Cricello, Noble, Nicolo Tavares and Namandi Ofobara. And then Owen Evans, Reece Brown, Oliver Hawkins, Jack Howland, Anthony Hartigan, Philip Chinedu, and Britt Assombalonga. That's a name that you guys will recognise.
Cheers, Max. We'll look forward to see if Crawley Town can defeat Barnet in League 2. Going back to Leighton, obviously Arsenal against Bayer Leverkusen. We talked about the quadruple earlier, what it would do for Mikel Arteta's reputation, but also the players as well. Someone like a Victor Gyökeres was brought in for big money. He's maybe not hit the heights that he would have liked to, but he's scoring goals now and again. Do you really feel like if he can go and get Arsenal through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, it'll start to make that price tag a bit more worth it potentially?
To be fair, he's getting there already. He's scoring goals in important games. He scored that goal in the North London derby to help them win that game. He's then scored goals like on the weekend before Max Dowman. He's scoring goals in these important games that mean the most, that can go ahead and win them all these trophies. I still would say that it's too early to call for the treble. They've got, obviously, quarter-final coming up in the FA Cup. They've got the Carabao next week, which, again, as we said, Timber will still be out of. So still a first-team fullback out of the team for that game, still injured. So you just got to look at it as where their injuries will be from. Odegaard's still not back. It's just a look. Their team is very strong. But can they keep the composure that we see them lose every season, which has got them the name from many fans as bottle jobs?
Yeah, cheers for that, Leighton. We're just going to go to Wimborne in Dorset, where Harvey, Sam and Heaven are in Dorset for Wimborne versus Walton and Hersham.
And the lineups are out here now in Wimborne. And Sam, what's changed in Wimborne tonight?
Well, 5 changes for the Magpies. It's a big shift, was it, with this being a Tuesday game. Coming into the team, you have Drew Eckott-Young, Sam Roberts, Ethan Sillis, Lewis Williams and Joe Ryan are all coming in who weren't playing last time out.
So definitely some big changes. And Heaven, how's it looking for Walton and Hersham side? Have they made any changes or are they keeping it relatively the same?
They've only made 2 changes, so not as much as Wimborne Town. We have Riley Horan coming off and Ian Bulger coming on. And we've also got Cash Odiase coming off with Francis Amerty coming on. So just a couple changes, not as much.
And despite Walton and Hersham's position tonight being first, I think Wimborne are possibly going to be confident, as last season they faced teams at the top like Merthyr, who they drew to, and AFC Tottenham, who they defeated. So it'll be interesting to see what the score is tonight.
Definitely.
Cheers for that, guys. Yeah, we'll look forward to see if Wimborne can stop Walton and Hersham. They're obviously on course for promotion potentially to the National League South, a team that was made by uni students like ourselves. They're obviously pushing up the leagues, not too far away from League 2. But going back to the UEFA Champions League, Josh White-Jones, Chelsea PSG, it's at Stamford Bridge. Do you reckon that's going to help give Chelsea that little bit of a boost tonight, where they've got 3 goals they need to catch up with?
Yeah, I definitely think home atmosphere and being at home will make a difference. I mean, the last time PSG actually conceded 3 goals was against Chelsea. It was in the Club World Cup final, and I think if you're Chelsea, you've got to take some confidence from that. Their 2 biggest wins have been 6-0 in the Champions League. That was against Karabag and Maribor, and I'm not comparing them to PSG. But they're going to need a really big performance. They're going to need players like Enzo Fernandez to step up. He's the captain tonight. And Cole Palmer, I think, since coming back from injury, there's been a few fingers pointed towards Palmer. I think if he hasn't been maybe scoring a penalty or on the score sheet, fans have thought, where is Cole Palmer? And they're really going to need him tonight. Pedro Neto starts as well. He's another man that could make a difference. Obviously, he nearly got actually suspended for this one after pushing the ball boy. He had an investigation. They cleared him. And then João Pedro as well, another man who's been probably Chelsea's talisman this season. So I think that all comes into it. As you said, home atmosphere, they're going to have to settle quickly. They're going to need the fans behind them. And I think for Chelsea, it's all about who scores first. You've got to get that first goal. You've got to get the fans behind you. And then maybe you can get an upset.
100%. We've seen them over the years. Liverpool against Barcelona, that quickly taken corner by Alexander Arnold. If it's Enzo Fernandez on corners for Chelsea, he'll be hoping to do the same. But it's 2 left-footers at centre-back, Hato and Sarr. That's going to be really interesting with that tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're 2 really young players as well. They're quite inexperienced. And coming up, as I said earlier, against that PSG front 3, they're really dangerous. They can all score goals, they can all create. But, Sarr and then Hato, who's came in. Hato's been more of a left-back since joining Chelsea. He obviously came from Ajax in the summer, but he's got a big future about him. He's 20, you know, he's Dutch, he's got a good pedigree. So it'll be really interesting to see, you know, what he's going to do tonight, because Fofana's the man that came out, and he obviously has been under a bit of scrutiny because, you know, the goal at the weekend, Gordon sort of snuck behind him, and maybe you could have, you know, criticised him for some of the PSG goals. But I think, as you said there, the two young centre-backs there are going to really have to play their part. They're going to have to use their speed. They're two really quick defenders, so they're going to have to play their part and have a really good game.
It'll be a big step up for them. Obviously, Jorgensen last weekend, Kinski at Tottenham stole the headlines, but it wasn't a much better night for Jorgensen against PSG at the Paris Saint-Germain either. Yeah,
it's interesting that they've gone with Sanchez, actually. They obviously went with him at the weekend, but they sort of moved quite quickly, didn't he, Rossinha? Because Sanchez went in goal for the Wrexham game, and you're thinking, oh, you're the number 2 now. Jorgensen comes in for the PSG game. But then he makes those mistakes, and he's gone back to Sanchez. I think Chelsea kind of reaped their own rewards for how they played at the Parc des Princes, you know, the risks they were taking. You know, Jorgensen did a couple of Cruyff turns, and you're thinking, just play it simple. And obviously, later on in the game, Liam Rossinha spoke about he thought his team played well, and they have been in recent times, but mistakes have kind of undone them. And I think today, you're going with Sanchez, who's more of an experienced head. Yeah, he's made some mistakes this season, but you've got to rely on your goalkeeper. And I think picking Sanchez is probably the right decision.
See, Mike Pender's on loan at Strasbourg. He's taken the headlines as well. A lot of Chelsea fans saying they potentially want to see him as number 1 next season. Only 20 years old.
Yeah, and we've seen that sort of, let's say, production line at Strasbourg. So obviously, Liam Rossinha was there. Sarr, who's obviously starting at centre-back, he was at Strasbourg. And it's that Bluco link, isn't it, where they're sending all these players out. And, you know, Petrovic as well, Georgi Petrovic, obviously now at Bournemouth. He was at Strasbourg last year. He had a really good campaign. So it'll be interesting, as you said, to see if maybe he's the next player in that production line.
Cheers, Josh and Max. We have 1 minute left in that game between Sporting Lisbon and Bodo Glimt. What's the action like in Portugal?
Mate, it's absolutely one-way traffic for the Portuguese side. Just after kick-off from the third goal, Luis Suarez, yet again, he tested the keeper, he cut inside onto his right and fired it near post, but the keeper, Nikita Heiken, did well. And also, Nuno Santos, the second half substitute, the ball came out to him from a corner, and first time on his left foot, he volleyed it low and hard, and it hit the post. So, you know, if there's going to be a goal, I can only see it being for the team in green and white.
See, we've hit 90 minutes now. Any indication how much added time there's going to be in Lisbon?
No, I must be a minute behind on my laptop. But no, I think there won't be too much. There hasn't been too many stoppages, just a few substitutions. No, you know, injuries, tactical, you know, switcheroos or all that. But no, I shouldn't imagine there'll be more than, you know, the regular 5 minutes.
The Sporting have arguably got momentum if it does go into extra time, though, haven't they?
Honestly, Bodo Glimt have hardly got out of that half in the second half. They are really under the cosh here at the moment. I can't really see them, you know, finding that creative spark to you know, create a chance and then score a goal, to be honest.
Cheers, Matt. We'll see with added time, we'll see if Sporting Lisbon can get that 4th goal, go through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, or can Bodo Glimt, they can just get a goal in extra time. They will also be going through to the quarterfinals. The team that may be going through to the quarterfinals, though, Real Madrid against Manchester City at the Etihad. Obviously, Valverde stole the headlines last week, Declan. He's back in the 11 tonight. If he can put in a similar performance, I don't think Real Madrid can do too much wrong, can they?
No, and I've just seen a stat that came up just before you came to me, and it said Real Madrid being 3 goals up in the second leg, they've won 29 and lost none. So I think Man City have a lot to do this evening. Obviously as well, Mbappe, he's back on the bench, back from his injury. He's top goal scorer this season in the competition. I think he's got 13, so he'll be looking to break the all-time record, which I think is about 17 or 18 goals in the Champions League. So there's a lot of firepower on that Real Madrid bench. No Bellingham, he is back in training, but he didn't make the squad today. But yeah, I think Real Madrid will be favourites going into this one, with obviously the pedigree and the record that they've got in the Champions League.
See, there's a lot of talk around Jude Bellingham, whether he's had the season that really merits that being called up to the England World Cup. What do you make of Jude's season in Madrid so far?
I think it's been a bit of a very up and down season. I think when he first joined, he was on fire. You couldn't stop him from scoring. And then since then, he's not scored the goals, but he's been playing a lot more further back. So obviously, he's not been getting forward as much. But you look at other players in his position for England. You've got Palmer, as Josh said. You've got Eze, who's in late in his game. And none of them are really firing this season. So I think he'll probably get taken based on name and what he's done in the past. But I'm not sure it's been the best of seasons for him, obviously, with his injury that's kept him out for a while.
See, you got Elliot Anderson at Nottingham Forest as well. He's maybe more of a 6, but he's had a very good season for Nottingham Forest, especially in the Europa League where they've been struggling in the Premier League. So that's going to put a little bit of pressure on Jude's back, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And also with Elliot Anderson, I've heard that he's been linked with Manchester City in the summer, so Pep's been looking at him. Obviously, he's been signing from the Premier League, not what he's been used to doing really for Man City. Obviously, he signed Semenyo and Guehi in January, so I think he's looking more towards Premier League proven players than going abroad, which is a bit different for Pep.
Cheers, Declan. We are now going to go to Riven Corbett, who is at Kettering Town. Riven.
So I'm here at Latimer Park for Kettering Town versus AFC Sudbury. It's going to be an interesting game, especially after both teams played each other on Saturday. 4-1 win that time for the Poppies just a bit of team news in for today. Wes York makes it out, is off the starting 11, makes way for Kai Williams, and Ismail Fataggio comes on for Van Leer in the Kettering lineup. AFC Sudbury have made no changes, which is interesting considering they did lose 4-1 on Saturday. But 27 goals for Kettering, both home and away this season, so it's bound to be an interesting affair. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Declan. Now going back to the Champions League. Leighton, you touched on it earlier, Bukayo Saka, he's played 3 games in 1 week. There's obviously been a bit of talk over the years whether Saka's played maybe too much, but he is getting a bit older now. He's maturing a bit more. I reckon he's got more used to playing week in and week out. And obviously, it's going to be something that Arteta's going to potentially have to be very careful with Max Down. He's obviously only 16 years old. He's a kid who's going to keep on growing. Maybe that's something Saka didn't really have the luxury of, not playing as many games. But Saka's really matured over the past few years, and tonight's a really big opportunity to help his side get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
He's still getting those injuries that we saw a few years back from playing that many games. He's still not... I would say, yes, he's matured enough and he's understanding that he's going to have to play a lot more games. However, I don't think his body can manage that half the time. Is another thing with Arteta. They've won 13 out of their 16 home Champions League matches. That's still a lot of games in, 3 years at home in the Champions League. They're getting deep into the competition. If they could keep, for instance, Saka fit, if they could keep Max Dowman fit, to be honest, because Max Dowman, I think, could run this Bayern Leverkusen side ragged. So if they can keep them all fit, that'll be very, very strong. But with Bukayo Saka, 3 games in 1 week, as people would say, the Saka rule is where he doesn't play that many games in 1 week to try keep him fit. Is this one too many games during the season where they're trying to keep him fit so they can win the league and stuff? Maybe. But are they really going all out in the Champions League? Would this show that they're going to put a weaker side out for the FA Cup because they don't really want those little opportunities?
Cheers, Leighton. Obviously, Arsenal, they brought Noni Madueke in the summer. He's obviously been brought in as competition for Bukayo Saka. We maybe haven't seen as much as Madueke. He's been played on the left and in the number 10 as well, but that's maybe helped Saka a little bit, just get a little bit of rest here and there as well.
Yeah, well, we had that big stage where Saka was out injured, and even when he came back from injury, where Madueke was pushing on that right-hand side, on the Saka's side, so it was, and that's where he was getting the best out of him. You couldn't get any better football. He looked unstoppable, getting to that byline. But even on the left, to be fair, Saka and Madueke both really work. Saka likes to go the intricate way and go round the box. Madueke is direct and gets straight to that byline, put the ball in where you could have Saka at the back of that 6-yard box, and you've got Gyökeres in the middle, both there for an easy tap-in. Even when Havertz comes on, there's still all of that space for anyone to come in when they're both attacking.
Yeah, they've got a lot of options now, Arsenal, and that's maybe been the thing that's been holding them back from potentially winning that Premier League, not having the depth. They've really got it now, and they can stretch their score when it comes to the Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. They've got the options there.
Yeah, their squad depth is incredible. When you look at their bench for tonight, with just even like some of the youngsters, they've got about 3 youngsters on the bench. They can really push on, and it shows their academy is still really pumping out very good stars. You got Saka a few years ago, Dowman, Manson, you've got Lewis Skelly, you've got Waneri, who's at Marseille at the minute. There's players coming through. Can they see it through? Who knows? Time will only tell.
We'll have to see indeed. And it is full time in Lisbon between Sporting Lisbon and Bodo Glimt. Max Cockrell, we are waiting for extra time. I see there's been a few substitutions made by Bodo Glimt there. They're going to try and freshen their legs up and hope that they can hold on, potentially take it to penalties as well. Maybe a bit of an easier chance of going through to the quarterfinals. Yeah, well, the names that people might know, the Jens Petter Hager, he's one of the players who has gone off. So has Blomberg, who has been a star recently in the Champions League. So the big hitters who have scored those goals this season in the Champions League have all made their way off the pitch. So again, it's the fact that Bodo Glimt, can they, create those chances and potentially, get the one goal that they need in extra time. But again, Sporting Lisbon look really comfortable at the moment. The last few minutes did turn into a bit of a basketball match, as you can imagine. But I still don't think Rui Silva in the Sporting net has actually really been tested. We'll have to see in extra time if he can get tested a bit more. But we're going to go to the National League South now at York Road, where Marcus Mansfield is watching Maidenhead United this evening.
Thank you, David. As I can see that teams lining up in the tunnel, here is the all-important team news ahead of the clash this evening. The hosts, Maidenhead, make 2 changes from Saturday's game, starting in goal with number 22, Van Staffelschhoff. Number 2 is Bartley, 3, Wagwet, 5, Welch Hayes, 8 is Yearwood, 11, Mitchell Lawson, 12, the captain, Robinson, 15, Amera, 17, Dawson, 23, Popula, and number 30, Honorias. And the Maidenhead substitutes this evening: Collins, De Silva, Pritchard, Cochrane, Clarima, Pendlebury and Odelusi. And the visitors this evening are starting in goal with number 1, Hall, 2, Shaman, 3, Hessen-Telter, 6, Dallison, 7, Pasley, 8, Edser, 14, Samuel, 18, Kennedy, 21, Crawley, 22, Chapman, 24, Gunji, and the excellent substitutes this evening: Stanford, Cosgrave, Appia, Nelson, Pete, Barnes, Willie. Thank you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers, Marcus. It'll be really interesting encounter there at York Road between Maidenhead and Ebbsfleet. Maidenhead 6th in the table, Ebbsfleet 7th in the table. Just goal difference separating the two sides, but it is Mark White's Dorking Wanderers who are running away with the league. They've got a 4-point buffer. He's quite a character, isn't he, Declan? Mark White. He seems to always be stealing the headlines for his Bunch of Amateurs documentary.
Yeah, he's a bit of a character, and it's what you like to see in football in the lower leagues. You don't want to see these, I guess, stale personalities. And it's quite nice to see, obviously. He speaks his mind. He goes on a lot of podcasts. He talks about the club in a very positive way. And it's just nice to see, I guess, if you're a fan of Dorking, see an owner like that.
And later, it's a very interesting story for Dorking Wanderers. Mark White's he's not just the manager, he's pretty much the chairman. He does everything at the club there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and believe it or not, the man still does not have his footballing badges, as he refuses to, even if they get in the league. I believe that he has said before that he still wouldn't step down, they just wouldn't go up to the football leagues because he doesn't want to do the badges. He doesn't understand why, as a coach, you have to do your badges. And it's proven with himself that he's got so far into the football pyramid. Why do you need those badges?
100%. Obviously, sticking with the National League South, Torquay United, a team I know you know very well, Max Cochrane. That playoff push, obviously, there's a lot of talk over that race for the title last season. There was about 5 or 6 teams going for that. But this season looks a bit more open. Dorking potentially running away with it. They've got a 5-point buffer on Hornchurch. What do you make of the National League South promotion race at this time?
Well, a few weeks ago it looked dead and buried, to be honest. I think Dorking were like 8 or 9 points clear at the top, but a few points dropped recently has potentially carved the way of like Hornchurch and Worthing coming back into the title race. But having said that, obviously Hornchurch, some people's dark horses at the start of the season, I think they still have, defied the odds of potentially going up into the National League, which for a club of the size of Hornchurch, they were playing step 3, step 4 pretty much their whole history. So to be able to get into that step 1, potentially 1 promotion away from the Football League is a massive achievement for the club. But yeah, going back to Torquay, I think they've had they had a run of 2 points in 7 games. Paul Watton, their manager, he got sacked, and then Neil Warnock has widely known, has come in as interim boss, and there's still a bit of and ahhing about who will take over down in Torquay. But I think again it's still in Dorkin's hands. They've got to play. I know West-Super-Mare still. They've got to travel to Torquay in a week's time. So it's not too easy for them to just stroll away into the National League.
Western-Super-Mare, they had Scott Bartlett in charge. He went to EC, got sacked by EC. Look at another big name managing a side in the National League South. Adam Hinsel with the dad of Jack Hinsel with the Brighton midfield. Worthing were very close last season. They potentially still put a little bit of pressure on Dorking. You obviously touched on Hornchurch being dark horses, but Worthing, the past few years, they just seem to always be up there in the National League South, don't they?
Yeah, since arriving in the National League South, the 3 seasons prior, they've always made the playoffs, but always obviously losing out in the playoffs. Adam Hinchwood rejoined the club this year after, most fans saying that he was unrightfully sacked from York after gaining, I think, over 100 points last season, and yet didn't get promoted with just the solitary one automatic promotion. So I think Adam Hinchwood, people say, plays the best football in the league. Worthing are an entertaining team to watch. So again, they'll be in about for the playoffs, but it's always about the next step to see if they will make it into the National League.
Staying with the National League South, we have Ashley Whiteway.
Goal.
Farn, we will come to you in a second, Max. Don't worry. We are here. Ashley Whiteway is at Farnborough versus Dagenham and Redbridge. Ashley, what's going on in Farnborough?
Okay. Hi guys. It's off here at Farnborough. So Transport Community Stadium, 0-0 at the moment. Just kicked off, like I just said there. KSI, obviously, haven't been able to see him at the moment. Obviously, 20% owner of the club now. But yeah, interesting things at the moment. Could run you through the team sheet at the moment. Joe Duncan, Bristol City loanee, come into the club and looks like he could be a real difference here today. Team Farnborough, the home team, obviously 20th in the league, trying to save off relegation. Dagenham and Redbridge is coming at midway point of the season, really just looking to qualify where they are at the moment. But yeah, as you see, people all around me just excited for this one. Just kicked off, 0-0. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers, Ashley. And we heard Max just now. There has been a goal in Lisbon. Who is it for, Max Cochrane?
Sporting Lisbon, or Sporting Club of Portugal, have turned it around. It's now 4-0 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate. It was an attack down the left-hand side from substitute Nuno Santos, who's been in all the action since coming off the bench. His ball in, luckily ricocheted towards Trincao, who laid the ball off for Luis Suarez to score his second of the night to, send Lisbon into raptures.
Yeah, very interesting now. Sporting Lisbon have really, really turned that around. 4-0 now. It's potentially going to go into the quarterfinals, but they have been known to exit the Champions League to Norwegian sides. Mulder a couple of years back, obviously the team Erling Haaland used to play for. Could we potentially see Sporting being a dark horse if they can battle through against Bodo Glimt?
I mean, when looking at the 16 teams that are currently in the competition, I think, you'd say that these two potentially are on the weaker sides. Obviously, Bodo Glimt beating Inter Milan in the last round. I don't think anyone really expected it. And again, Sporting Lisbon, Bodo Glimt, you would say that was potentially the weakest game. Obviously, I think they play either Leverkusen or Arsenal in the next round. So, if it's Arsenal, they're against, on paper, the toughest team in the Champions League, winning, 8 out of 8 in the league phase. So I think whoever goes through will obviously have a tough test against whether it's Arsenal or Bayer Leverkusen.
Cheers, Max. Now we're going to go to Plough Lane for some League One action. Darcy Harris Norman is at Wimbledon versus Leyton Orient in League One.
Hello here. Yes, I'm here at Plough Lane, the home of AFC Wimbledon. As you can hear, the away fans are very loud currently. It's just been kick-off. We are 3 minutes in. Leyton Orient have only had 2 wins this season, and they are adamant to get their third today. They are currently only 4 points above relegation zone, so they are desperate to get a win. Where AFC Wimbledon are on a good run, they had a 1-0 defeat against Sheffield, but are keen to bounce back. That's all from me at the moment. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Darcy. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Wimbledon near the middle of League One. They've obviously had a few issues over the past few weeks. If they can really push up the table, potentially get in the top 6 there. Maybe some people's picks to go straight back down when they won that playoff final last season. If they can get a result over Leyton Orient, who are really struggling at the moment after they were defeated by Charlton Athletic in the League One playoff final. It's really not been a good season for Richie Wellens' side. Going back to the Champions League, Josh White-Jones, we're counting down to kick off 10 minutes away at Stamford Bridge. It's that atmosphere that we've talked about. It's starting to build in London.
Yeah, I think so. It's just showing sort of the PSG ultras. They're getting the noise get it going really nice and early, and they've put the Champions League banners out. It's got all that feeling now of quite a big game. It's been showing on the broadcast here some of Chelsea's biggest comebacks, and one of them was actually against PSG. I think it was 2014. They've showed 2012 when they came back against Napoli. Sort of given that feeling of could we see something special tonight? You know, could Chelsea come back? And I think it's a special night. It's Champions League. It's a big game. Round of 16 to get into the quarterfinals. I think the atmosphere will build. And Stamford Bridge, they'll get the liquidator on it. It'll be nice and loud. And yeah, why not? Let's have a comeback tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Chelsea can come back in that game. But from the Champions League to the National League, we've got Toby Dickinson at Brackley Town versus Solihull Moors. Toby, how's it looking at Brackley?
Thank you, David. I am here at Brackley Town, St James's Park, one of many. The score is currently 0-0 between Brackley and Solihull Moors, but it's been a good start for the home side, and they'll be hoping to get a first win in 7 games, having been on a 7-game losing streak. Back to you in the studio, David.
Cheers, Toby. Obviously, National League, there's not too many fixtures going on. You've got Brackley against Solihull, which Toby is at. Gateshead against Wealdstone, Southend against Rochdale. Rochdale obviously near the top end of the table. Southend trying to get in that playoff push. They've obviously been out the Football League for quite some time now. Woking against Yeovil Town and Truro City. It's a big clash in Cornwall, a massive trip for Scunthorpe to make. Pretty much the other side of the country. They'll be going to Cornwall to face Truro City in the National League. Be interested to see if Scunthorpe can do a back-to-back promotion. They obviously were only in the Championship not too long ago, dropped down to League One. Look like they're going to go back up, then we'll drop down to League Two, and it's not been great for Scunthorpe. They went down to the National League South 2 years ago. They got promotion back last season, and now they are potentially on course for bouncing back up to League Two. Going back to the Champions League, Max, how is extra time looking now? We're 9 minutes in at Lisbon. Does it look like Sporting going to get another goal and get more of a buffer on Bodo Glimt, or Bodo Glimt starting to show a little bit of a threat that they could potentially come back?
I don't think either team have really shown a threat as of yet in the first half of extra time. I think it's sort of died down, you know, the momentum that Sporting did have, although, you know, they've had a few, you know, corners, a few attacks, but yet again, Bodo Glimt have hardly shown anything since the fourth goal for Sporting, and really on the night as well.
Cheers, Max. Obviously, in the Champions League tomorrow night, it's Barcelona against Newcastle United. That's a 5:45 kickoff. You've got Bayern Munich against Atalanta United. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff by Bayern Munich. Sorry, with a 6-1 aggregate on Atlanta, a 5-goal cushion for them. But the interesting one, Liverpool 1-0 down on aggregate to Turkish side Galatasaray. But fellas, that arguably the biggest game tomorrow is going to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium between Tottenham and Atletico Madrid. Declan, no pun intended here, but Tottenham drew the second half last week, didn't they?
Well, they did, but they weren't great. I mean, Igor Tudor, I know he got a draw at the weekend against Liverpool, but I think some Spurs fans would rather him lost, to be honest, so he could have got out of his job. I think Atletico Madrid, they rotated heavily at the weekend. They got a 1-0 win in their game. It was a wonder goal as well that went in. I do think they'll just put out full strength, maybe park the bus a little bit, and I don't think Spurs will have enough to deal with them, unfortunately. I think their UCL run will come to an end. With the Premier League, though, I'm not sure what will happen with that. I do think when people say you're too good to go down, no one's too good to go down. So I'd be a bit worried if I was a Spurs fan, honestly, right now.
We're going from the Champions League to the Velocity Wessex League. We've got Alfie Faulkner at Beatrice Avenue between East Cowes Victoria and AFC Stoneham. Alfie, how are you doing on the island there, mate?
It's doing all right. Unfortunately, the sun has passed now, and we're enjoying the game so far. It's been fairly dominant by Stoneham so far, as we'd expect from top of the table, and it has very rarely left the fixed half of them going for long balls to try to breach this unstoppable force that is Stoneham. Other than that, it seems to go promising so far. I do see some goals coming, so the action's quite close to me right now. And other than that, I think it's just going to be a strong game, and I've got it going on behind me now. There's already a goal going in, and a very close finish there from East Calsvix, David.
Cheers, Alfie. Obviously, Stoneham with a massive buffer. They had a very interesting game on the weekend where they scored, I think it was 6 goals in 20 or so minutes. So Stoneham pretty much running away with the Velocity Wessex League. There, we're going to go to the Championship now. Watford against Wrexham. Declan, you obviously are familiar with the Championship. Do you feel like if this is a must-win for both sides, for Watford to stay in the race, but for Wrexham to really obviously potentially go above Hull City and build some really good momentum going into the Easter break that's going to come after the international break?
Yeah, I think it's a must-win for both sides, as you said. Watford at the weekend, they won their game, and it was Iran Kunda again. He seems to only score worldies. I've never really seen him score anything other than worldies. As for Wrexham, they've spent a lot of money. I don't think another year in the Championship would be bad for Wrexham. I think if they went up, it might be maybe too early, but obviously they'd like to go up for that Hollywood story. I know on the weekend, it was on Friday night, they had Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney doing the commentary. It was a little bit biased, people were saying online. I'm not sure it had the best fan reaction. I'm not sure if they'll do that again, but yeah, I think it'll be a must-win for both sides.
Obviously, Leighton, you're obviously familiar with the Championship yourself. If Wrexham, like Declan said, they don't go up this season, it gives them a really good chance of potentially not just getting in the top 6, but potentially winning the league. I know you look at some of the teams that may come now. You've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're probably going to have a very strong squad. Burnley as well, with the core players they've got there. But next season, we've seen it with Coventry, how they've bounced back from playoff heartache. That they're obviously top of the league, potentially on course for going back to the Premier League for the first time in over 20 years. But like Declan said, do you think it'd benefit Wrexham a little bit? Maybe they can spend a little bit more money, bring better Championship, Premier League ready players in the summer.
I think, to be fair, the staying down for an extra season benefits a lot of teams. You haven't got the worry of being able to seeing like the difference in the leagues, whereas Wrexham, it's their first time. They can really evaluate this year if they don't go up. But it's like Wolves coming down and the teams coming down, they're going to get done with FFP because their wages are just so high. Teams aren't able to keep that money around, and there's like a cap in the Championship coming in. And going to the 6 teams next season in the playoffs, it's going to be so much harder. So will Wrexham really want to wait this year? I don't think so. Because if there's an extra 2 teams in the playoffs next year, I don't think we will see them go as well as they did this year. Maybe is it a one-season fluke again?
We'll have to see with Wrexham. We'll see that change. Leighton's alluding to 6 teams in the Championship playoffs from next season. It will go down from 3rd to 8th place, but we are just 2 minutes away from kickoff in some of these Champions League games. Josh, we spoke about the atmosphere earlier. Chelsea getting that liquidator song ready. What's Liam Rossini's attire for tonight? He obviously dresses quite smartly, doesn't he? What's he gone for this evening?
I haven't actually seen Liam Rossini yet. There's been quite a big display of different flags. There have been loads of different coloured flags, and Chelsea have had 2 big banners basically showing off to PSG that we are the champions of the world, we beat you. It hasn't yet shown Liam Rossini, but the teams have just made their way onto the pitch. They've shook hands, just showing the Chelsea lineup. But a huge display by the Chelsea fans, both sort of behind the goal. It's just a display of colour, and we are the champions of the world. It's really built up this atmosphere. It's a big game. They're going to need a quick start. I said it earlier, and I'll let you know when I see Liam Rossini.
See, when we talk about those top 6 sides, a lot of those teams have got stadiums that potentially don't still have that old school atmosphere, but Chelsea are one of the only ones really left that can still generate that sort of crowd, that sort of noise.
Yeah, definitely. It's that banging, isn't it, on the sheds in Stamford Bridge that's kind of like Chelsea's trademark. It's that old London ground with the sort of fans that you see. I mean, Chelsea have not really moved yet. I was expecting to see something of their huddle. They've kind of stood right in the middle of the pitch. Sorry, the banner's getting moved now. But yeah, as you said, it's a really hostile atmosphere, isn't it, when it gets going at Stamford Bridge? And we've seen it in English clubs. You spoke about Barcelona at Anfield a couple of years ago. They can really make their home ground's a fortress, and I think that's what Chelsea are going to want to do this year. Stamford Bridge, a good old English ground, they're going to want to make it a fortress.
You mentioned about the huddle there. They haven't stood around the referee again, have they?
No, they're moving towards their own half at the minute. They did their team photo and they sort of stood around there. The referee, or they might now be moving towards the centre circle. I'm just trying to see through the PSG graphic. You have to give me a minute. But they're sort of loitering around that centre circle. I think they could do it again, but you have to give me a moment.
They do that as like a sort of tactic where they try and take the ball away to get into the opposition's head, though, don't they?
Yeah, they've just moved actually into the centre circle. It's now gone on to Liam Rossini. He's looking quite slick in an all-black turtleneck and a blue jumper. Chelsea are indeed actually in the centre circle. The ball's not there, but PSG have kind of gone close to them. It's kind of a weird standoff, but they've opted for it. I thought maybe they'd change it, but they've gone for it. The referee's not in the middle, you'll be glad to know. But it's looking ready. The game's about to kick off and Stamford Bridge is ready. And they've actually changed ends. I believe that's PSG that have swapped ends. So Chelsea are going to kick towards sort of their biggest stand, and PSG will go towards the away fans in the first half.
Cheers, Josh. And going back to Dorset, Harvey Guerin, Sam Farris-Clark and Heaven are at Wimborne Town. Harvey, what's the update in Dorset?
Well, it's been the half that Wimborne would have hoped for against the league leaders. Currently 25 minutes in and they've been all over them. And there has been a couple penalty shouts for the Magpies. Sam, what have you made of those shouts?
I think both of them are nonsense, to be honest. I never in a million years would I have given either. But Wimborne, surprisingly, have been the better side this half. Putting in a few crosses to that back post and they look dangerous so far.
100%. And Heaven, this is your first non-league football match as our resident Canadian here. How are you enjoying it out in the cold here in Wimborne in Dorset?
You know, the weather's not too bad, and the match is quite enjoyable to watch. You know, I'm used to the cold as I'm from Canada, so this is like nothing to me. But the football, on the other hand, I think it's quite good. Didn't expect it, to be honest. Definitely a lot more different to how it is back home, but I'm quite enjoying it.
Are you going to be a Wimborne Town fan for life after this? Can you imagine after how they're playing today?
We'll see about that. We'll see.
Well, it is 0-0 currently in the 27th minute. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Harvey. And going from the Southern Premier Division South to the National League South, we're going to go to Ashley Whiteway, who's at Farnborough versus KSI's Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yeah, so hi guys. Our 5th minute just gone. Penalty was taken, penalty was converted. It's Farnborough who are losing, unfortunately, for the home side. 1-0 here at the moment to Dagenham and Redbridge. Goal started in the bottom left-hand corner. It's fantastically taken by Joe Higg, I must say. It's converted with poise, converted with quality, converted with confidence. And yeah, for the visitors, KSI especially, they're going to be buzzing at the moment and they've taken this early lead. 1-0 here to Dagenham and Redbridge against Farnborough. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers, Ashley. Obviously, Farnborough 1-0 down against Dagenham and Redbridge. They potentially got some motivation with KSI buying the National League South club. But Josh White-Jones, I just heard there's nearly a goal. Was it for PSG at Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, it started off a bit like a basketball match here. We've only played a minute and a half. Chelsea started quite quickly. PSG got the ball, and Nuno Mendes just flew down the left-hand side, overlapping. He was in so much space. I don't actually know who put him through, but it was a lovely ball. Mendes had all kinds of space. He flashed it across goal. It was a little bit of a mix-up between Hato and Sanchez. Defender kind of got a foot of it. Sanchez kind of got a hand to it. He managed just about to claim the cross, but it was close to Dembele. He was kind of lurking at the far post. But Chelsea have gone up the other end. Cole Palmer was put through now. He sort of hurried against the PSG defender. They put it out for a throw, and Stamford Bridge is really rocking. They're getting behind it, but yeah, really quick start here.
And Max going back to Lisbon. It's half-time in extra time. Another 15 minutes left to play. How's it looking between Sporting and Bodo Glimt?
Well, I think Sporting have naturally just dropped off a bit since going a goal up. I think as the cameras are showing, some of the Bodo Glimt players are getting yellows for dissent. I think they're starting to get frustrated with obviously the scoreline being 3-0 up going into tonight's match. But I think, you know, they've sort of got to, you know, just go for it. They've sort of been in their shell tonight, I think, just sort of like, you know, hanging on to that lead rather than trying to get, you know, that one goal which could, you know, push them into the quarterfinals. But, you know, the second half of extra time is about to start up again. 15 minutes for the Norwegian side to save their Champions League season.
Cheers, Max. Now we have got a goal at Plough Lane. Darcy Harris-Norman reporting on AFC Wimbledon versus Leyton Orient. What's the update there, Darcy?
Hello, yes, we have had a goal. Leyton Orient have scored in the 15th minute. It's from their top goal scorer, Ballard, who just tapped it in and the goalkeeper scrambled but was unable to save the goal. It should have been cleared away, but like I say, as you can hear, it is a very, very up game. The fans are well up for this game and the London derby continues. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Darcy. Obviously, Leyton Orient, we mentioned it pre-game, near the bottom end of the table. That's going to be a massive boost for them. Wimbledon in 14th, 1-0 down at home to Richie Wellens' side. But Declan, you've got a little bit of an update for us in Manchester. Is it Manchester City having all of the ball at the moment against Real Madrid?
Yeah, it's been about 5 minutes so far, and Real Madrid had the first chance. It was Vinny Jr. who played the ball in for Valverde. It was Kusanov with a bit of a dodgy touch, and then Valverde couldn't loop the ball over Donnarumma in goal. And then since then, it's been all Man City, mostly from Doku on the wings, honestly. He's played the ball to Rodri, and this shot was saved. And also Cherky, he's had a chance as well. So I think Doku's the one that you've got to look at so far. And there's been another chance there. I think Reinder's just with a bit of a poor shot. But yeah, 5 minutes in, it's been all Man City so far.
Cheers, Declan. And going to Bristol, where James McLean is at Bristol Rovers versus Shrewsbury Town in League 2. James, how's it going in Bristol?
Thank you, David. It's still 0-0 here at the moment, but there has definitely been some early chances. Bristol Rovers so far have been dangerous from crosses. They've had plenty of chances to get ahead. Haven't been perfectly up for this one as well. But the closest chance so far has actually come from Shrewsbury. It was a counter-attack. It was George Lloyd ran up the right side of the pitch on his own, but no one was there to tap home, and his delivery went straight across the face of goal, and it still remains 0-0 back to the studios.
Cheers, James. And going up 2 leagues to the Championship, Max Cochrane, he's obviously stayed with the Sporting Bodo Glimt game, but he was also meant to be navigating over to Vicarage Road for Watford versus Wrexham. But there's actually been a goal at Vicarage Road. But for who, Max Cochrane? Is it a sign that maybe people don't expect to be going 1-0 up?
Well, obviously, I've been watching the Sporting game, and typically there's been a goal at Vicarage Road, and it's for the home team, Watford. It appears that they have sort of been on top, dominating the game so far, and they got their reward with Mark Boller, the left wing back. It appears that it was a counter-attack, and Chakvatatse
Just a second there, Max. We have got a goal at Stamford Bridge. Josh White-Jones, what's happening in London?
It's exactly what we spoke about at the start of the game. It's the young Chelsea central defenders who've come undone, and it's just a long ball over the top looking for Kvaratskhelia, who we spoke about again at the start. He came into the side, 2 goals in the previous leg. Malang Sarr he's sort of backpedaling. It's actually from the keeper, Savanov. It's a free kick in his own half. He goes over the top looking for Kvaratskhelia, who's definitely onside. He's almost in a 1v1 versus Kvaratskhelia. He tries to hold him off, and the ball just gets under his feet. It loops under straight into the path of the Georgian, who just caresses it with his left foot into the far right corner, under the glove of Robert Sanchez. 1-0 PSG, 6-2 on aggregate. It's a long, long, long way back now for Chelsea, and PSG look like a real threat.
Cheers, Josh. Obviously 4 goals for Chelsea to catch up with now. But we're going to go from London to Dorset, the White Home Stadium, between Wimborne Town and Walton and Hersham. Harvey, Sam and Heaven, what update have you got for us?
And it's the league leaders have now gone ahead. Walton and Hersham have made it 1-0 through Dawid Rogalski. All he had to do was tap it in, flashed across the box, and it went straight in. Sam, what do you make of that goal there?
Yeah, I mean, it's against the run of play, but it was just, as you said, it was a tap in for him, and it was just easy. But really against the run of play here.
I definitely can expect Wimborne to get back into this, of course. But Heaven, we're going back to the first non-league game. That's your first non-league goal. It's not exactly a stunner, is it, though?
Yeah, well, obviously a tap in, you got to get that in, right? But I still have hopes for Wimborne. You know, they've been in possession quite a bit this half, so they could definitely equalise.
Yeah, and that was their top goal scorer, of course. And that is Walton and Hersham 1, Wimborne Town 0.
Cheers, Harvey, Sam and Heather. We'll just quickly go through some of the scores around the grounds. Chesterfield 0, Alden 1 in League 2. Southend are beating promotion chasers Rochdale 2-1, but we'll keep going on with the scores in a second. We have got Max Parsons-Williams and Luke Upton at Broadfield Road. Max and Luke, how's that game going for Crawley Town?
Yeah, it's been a lively start here in Crawley. The opening 10 minutes, the hosts were really getting themselves into the game, really creating some chances. 2 goal-mouth scrambles in the opening 10 minutes. Captain Jay Williams and Dion Pierre are both being denied in quick succession. Since then, Barnet have grown themselves into the game, and you can tell that they are higher up in the table. Luke, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Crawley are fighting. They're definitely showing. Oh, there's been a foul in the box. Oh, no, the referee's not giving it. Okay, there's a foul in Crawley's box, but nothing. Referee's not giving anything. Yeah, it's been a very scrappy game. You can tell Crawley are definitely fighting like a side that's really trying to stay in English, in the 92 teams of English football. The fans are up and at it as well. I mean, but Barnet have had the best chance. They fizzed one across goal, open net, but wasn't quite reached by any striker. Yes, so best chance of the game will go to Barnet, but you can tell real scrappy game, long balls, long balls, long balls. But yeah, the crowd are definitely up for it here.
Cheers, Max and Luke. Josh, I've seen your facial expressions. It's all heating up on Stamford Bridge, but it's in the PSG half. Chelsea trying to find a way back in. Is it 2 penalty shots and they've hit the post?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have maybe expected Chelsea to give up maybe now that they've got to score 4 goals, but it's kind of gone the other way. It's quite scrappy. It's come from a corner. João Pedro's gone down initially. I don't think there's much in it. He's sort of been grabbed by Pacho and Zaire Emery, but I think he's just flung himself to the floor. Then the ball's looped up and Enzo Fernandez has got a head to it. I thought it's hit the post. It's actually hit the goalkeeper, Savardov, right on the back of the head. He's bumped into Aubrey Santos, who's then also gone down wanting a penalty. So Chelsea have gone down with 2 penalty claims, nearly had the ball in the net. None's been given. It's now out for, I think, a PSG throw-in. I don't think they'll get given. But yeah, really entertaining game. It's a real cup tie. But Chelsea are going to need some goals quickly.
Cheers, Josh. Just what you want to see. Chelsea still trying to find a way back in that game despite the massive deficit they've got to come back from. But when you go from the Champions League to the National League South, where Marcus Mansfield is at York Road for Maidenhead United against Ebbsfleet. Cool. Marcus, what's the update?
Another corner.
Cool. Couple of early chances for both sides here at York Road, with the best clear-cut chance of the game coming to the home side as Magpie skipper Matt Robertson saw his central free kick from about 25-30 yards out narrowly fly over the crossbar as Fleet goalkeeper Matt Hall was routed to the spot. Ebbsfleet responded well to a driving run from forward Josh Crawley, whose sharp footwork saw him beat 2 players before his low effort took a deflection wide of the goal. It's been an entertaining game here so far at York Road. Back to you guys in the studio.
Declan Rice corner.
Cheers, Marcus. And Declan at the Etihad, how are things looking? I've heard you say Jeremy Doku and Ryan Shirky are really tearing that Real Madrid defence apart. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I'd say City have been pretty much all over them. Shirky, he's had another chance since you last came to me. Went way over the bar. I think Leighton's had a chance in his game, Leighton.
Arsenal are piling the pressure on. They've had 2 corners here. First one, Gabriel caught on his shoulder, so it wasn't like quite the full-on chance that you'd expect Arsenal to do from a corner. They've just had another one. It's come in, it's been headed out to Trossard. Ball's gone out to Eze, and Eze's just slightly put it over Gabriel's head. He's got the slightest of touch on his forehead on it, to be fair. It's still 0-0, but Arsenal are pressuring.
See, Arsenal known for their set pieces, but we're going to go to Kettering versus Sudbury at the Latimer Stadium, where Riven Corbett and Jake Pearce are at. Riven and Jake, what's the update there?
Here at Latimer Park, chances all flying around here for Kettering at the moment, mostly coming from corners. At a volley a few minutes ago, just flying into someone's back garden, probably hit a trampoline or 2, I'm not sure, but it's chances mostly for the home team. Back to you in the studio. 0-0 Kettering.
Cheers, Riven. Yep, we'll be interested to see if we can get a goal between Kettering and Sudbury. Max Cochrane, how is that Sporting Lisbon Bodo Glimt game going?
Well, Bodo Glimt just had a chance from a corner, but it was quite comfortable for Rui Silva to claim the header. It's sort of, again, died down. Sporting Lisbon are trying to, take as much time with every free kick, every throw-in. People going down, pretending, I'll say it in quotation marks, pretending to be injured. But yeah, they're just sitting back on that 1-goal lead. and Bodo Glimt are finally starting to get out of their half, starting to control the ball into the Sporting half, and with 5 minutes left, they still need that one goal to level it on the tie and potentially send it to penalties.
Cheers, Max. And back to the White Home Stadium, where Harvey, Heaven and Sam are watching Wimborne Town against league leaders Walton and Hersham. What's the update there, guys?
And we're here back at Wimborne. It's a goal for Wimborne Town. It was a cross into the box where number 5, Sam Roberts, the President's Player of the Season last season, looped it over the goalkeeper and it went into the back of the net. Heaven, what are you making of that goal?
I thought it was a lovely goal. I was watching it. Like I said before, I thought Wimborne would equalise soon, and I was right.
You were right.
And it was
Prediction,
a lovely goal.
Yeah.
So.
Predictor of the non-league, might say.
Yeah, some may say.
And Sam, what do you make of the game so far? We're nearly at half-time here. It's 1-1.
Yeah, well, I'm currently just thinking about a burger, to be honest. That's the top thing on my mind. But no, Wimborne, I think, have been really, really good, considering who they're playing. Top and...
They're putting under pressure here.
The action is just non-stop here. You can't take your eyes off it. But no, I think Wimborne have been terrific. They're good value for money for that goal.
It's definitely been very interesting here in Dorset. It's Wimborne Town 1, Walton and Hersham 1.
Cheers, guys. 1-1 in that game. But there's been a goal in one of the Champions League games, I believe. Who's got it here?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous goal for PSG, David. It's brilliant. They've won the ball high in the Chelsea half. It's Zaire. I'm just watching it back now. He's picked up the ball in his own half. He's drove forward. Hakimi's overlapping. This is where they're dangerous with their fullbacks. Hakimi gives it to Bradley Barcola. It's a bad touch, but the ball sort of bobbles. It's a half volley. He just drills it with his laces, and it diagonally just fires it straight into the top corner from the edge of the box. It's a brilliant strike. I was speaking about Chelsea coming back. It's game done. It's an absolutely ridiculous finish. You can't put it much more in the top corner. Bradley Barcola again against Chelsea. This is why they bring him into the team. Luis Enrique celebrating large because he knows they're a step closer to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, a step closer for Paris Saint-Germain. But Leighton, how is that Arsenal Bayer Leverkusen game going at the Emirates Stadium?
Well, at the minute it's full on Arsenal. We've had a claim for a foul on the edge of the box for Leverkusen, but they are not offering much going forward. Arsenal have another corner here. Trossard has just got the ball in from Saka, and he has curled it, and it is inches away from that top corner. As this ball is about to come into the box, it's Saka taking it instead of Declan Rice. Ball has come in. Oh, it's been headed out. Ball has come straight back to Saka. To be fair, they're going round the box now with Eze. Will he get it in, or will Arsenal fans start to get frustrated?
Cheers, Leighton. And in the earlier kick-off in the Champions League, Max says 1 minute to go on my stopwatch between Sporting and Bodo Glimt. How are Sporting they parking the bus against Bodo Glimt, or Bodo Glimt putting that pressure on them and pressing Sporting down to get that equaliser?
Well, they're currently just in the corner of Bodo Glimt's half. They've just won a free kick, and I think the Norwegian side are starting to get very frustrated now. It's cut into the cameras are cut into the bench, and all the players are in a bit of a sulk. But yeah, Sporting Lisbon have sort of got back on the ball, and just sort of controlling it, managing the game as you would hope your side in the Champions League round of 16 could do. But again, Bodo Glimt, other than that sort of tame header in the second half of extra time, haven't really done enough to threaten the Sporting net.
We'll come back to you, Max, when that full-time whistle in Lisbon has been blown. Going back to Wimborne Town, Harvey, Heaven and Sam for Wimborne against Walton and Hersham. What's the update at the White Jones Stadium, guys?
And it's another goal here in Wimborne. It's Mason Abeng for the leaders who are away today. Walton and Hersham who've gone ahead. He cut in down the left-hand side and put it into the bottom right corner where the goalkeeper couldn't get to it. Evan, what's your analysis on that goal just before half-time?
Well, another lovely goal, of course. Just watching him go down the wing and cut in, and seeing that ball just soar into the bottom corner was amazing to see.
It's wonderful. And Sam, you were thinking about a burger a second ago.
Yeah, no, I had my mind on burgers and pints, but this is just a game of football you can't take your eyes off.
Wonderful,
and
isn't it?
It's a bit of quality from Mason, and you can see players like that. Why Walton and Hersham are top of this league? It's just a bit of magic, isn't it? Where he's cut in there. It's a brilliant goal.
And we're just before half-time here, and I don't think that's going to be the last goal of the game. And anyways, it's Wimborne Town 1, Walton and Hersham 2.
Cheers, guys. Now just talking to my correspondent to the left of me, Declan Murphy. A potential penalty shout at the Etihad, but for who?
It's Real Madrid that have got a potential penalty. Vinny Jr. got the ball and he had a shot from just outside the box to hit the post, came back out to Vinny, and he took a shot and it's hit Bernardo Silva on what looks like to be his arm. Then the referee and the linesman blew for offside originally. Then somehow, I'm not really too sure what's gone on, but now it's going to VAR. The ref's going to the monitor. And I'll get back to you in a minute when we've got confirmation if it's going to be a penalty or not.
Cheers, Declan and Josh. The action's starting to heat up in your game at Stamford Bridge, is it?
Yeah, but not really in terms of the on-field action. Chelsea's players actually have been starting to get a little bit annoyed with each other. Obviously, it's St Patrick's Day, but they've had their own sort of paddy on the pitch now. Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Neto, João Pedro, they've all been waving their arms a little bit. Oh, wow, I think you need to go to Declan.
Got a goal at the Etihad, but for who? Declan Murphy.
It's not a goal just yet, but it's VAR confirmed it's a handball, and he's sent off Bernardo Silva. He's pulled out the red card, and I think it's very controversial there. All the fans seem stunned in the stadium, honestly. I think this has probably turned the tide on its head, honestly. The captain, Bernardo Silva, he's walking off now. He's given the armband to Ruben Diaz, and yes, City down 10.
And we have got a goal in Lisbon. Max Cochrane, who's it for? Bodo Clint to goal back, or Sporting killed the game off?
It's the 5th of the night for Sporting Club de Portugal. It was sort of a loose pass by Bodo Glimt, the defenders, and then it was sort of a 3-on-2. The ball got slipped. I'm not sure who it was actually to, but whoever it was, made no doubt about it. He rifled it into the roof of the net in the first minute of added time to make it 5-3 on aggregate.
Yeah, Sporting Lisbon will be going through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League by the looks of things, but is there a potential chance for Real Madrid to put another sucker punch on Manchester City? Declan Murphy, has the penalty been given?
Well, it's been given. It's not been taken yet. Vinny stands over it. Donnarumma, he's got a 100% record in the Prem with penalties this year, so if anyone's in goal that you want, it's Donnarumma. The City fans honestly can't look at it. Vinny's standing over the ball. He's about to take it.
This is a ludicrous decision.
And he scored. Vinny Jr. scored. It's 1-0 Real Madrid. 4-0 on aggregate. He's shushing all the fans. It's a bit of a controversial decision, as Leighton said. He's run to about 1,000 away fans that have made the trip to the Etihad. And I think that's killed the TARF, honestly. 20 minutes in, 1-0 Real Madrid.
Well, that's now 2 English teams that may not have a chance of reaching the quarterfinals. Chelsea at home to PSG, and now Manchester City at home to Real Madrid. But we are going to go to the National League South, where Ben Groden is reporting on Chesham against AFC Tottenham. Ben, what's going on at Chesham Town?
Yes, David. It's currently 0-0 here at the Meadow. The game hasn't been too short of chances. The game started very much in Chesham's favour, despite an early Tottenham chance where their captain, Tyler Cordner, just headed wide from a corner. Yeah, as I said, Chesham grew into the game, had many chances, and dominating possession. Matt Lynch notably rounded the keeper. Definitely the best chance of the game so far, but his effort was cleared off the line. Then just a couple minutes after that, Jaden Bennett was brought down in the penalty area, but the referee waved play on, which definitely invited some derogatory chants from the home crowd. But yeah, still 0-0 here at the minute, David. Back to the studio.
Cheers for that, Ben. And there has been a goal in the Championship. Watford have now extended their lead to 2-0. It's Edo Kayembe with the second goal of the game for Ed Steele's side. A bit of a shock there. Wrexham 2-0 down at Vicarage Road. Could be an interesting one in the race for the top 6. Watford were 8 points off Wrexham going into today's game, but we got Declan and Leighton there reacting to the game going on at the Etihad. What's going on, Declan? Is Pep Guardiola looking frustrated after that decision?
Well, first of all, it was a great chance by Haaland, and from that chance, Vinny's been played through. He's had all the space in the world. No one's closed him down, and he's cut inside, and somehow he's put that shot way wide of the post, and yeah, Real Madrid could have capitalised there, and it should be 2-0 on the night.
Well, in the other early Champions League fixture, it has finished full-time. Sporting Lisbon 5, Bodo Glimt 0. Leighton, I will come to you shortly, but Max Cochrane, what's your analysis on Sporting defeating Bodo 5-0 and going through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League?
You know, when looking at it, Sporting do deserve to go through. They were the side who you know, came into the night wanting to score, wanting to, you know, get back into the tie, whereas Bodo Glimt sort of were just holding on to dear life, especially, you know, in the second half in extra time. But, you know, 5 goals, I'm not sure many people expected Sporting to score 5 goals tonight, but, you know, it's fully deserved for the Portuguese side who go into the quarterfinals to face either Leverkusen or Arsenal.
Cheers, Max. And we're going to go back to Kettering Town, where Riven and Jake are covering Kettering versus AFC Sudbury. Riven, what's going on at Kettering?
Yeah, I was about to mention a goal previously, but Kettering have just gone 2-0 up on that as I came to you. I'm not sure who it was that flicked it on. I think it was Carl Mensah, the new signing. Yeah, the tallest man on the Kettering team has just headed it in from a corner to make it 2-0 now. And Kettering have been all over AFC Sudbury in this game so far. And a good stroke of quality from a corner there puts them 2 goals to the good. 2-0 here, Kettering. Back to you in the studio.
I've had 2 great chances.
Cheers for that, Riven. And Leighton has just let me know that there's been 2 big chances at the Emirates Stadium, but for who?
Well, it's Arsenal. Leverkusen, I don't believe, have even had a shot yet during this game. As we all saw from last year when Arsenal played Real Madrid, Declan Rice and his free kick antics, he's gone for it again, but this time he's halfway down the side of the box towards the corner flag and he's just struck it so sweetly. Keeper has got a fist to it. He's gone out for a throw-in. Declan Rice is shaped up for a long throw. He's then gone short and they played it around a little bit. He's then whipped the ball into the box and anyone that you'd have thought got onto a header. Bukayo Saka with the header. It has looped. Unfortunately, he's not got to get the power on it, but it's looped into the goalkeeper's hands. So far, still 0-0 though. Nothing else, much more to report on.
Cheers, Leighton. And I believe we have had a yellow card at the Etihad, but not for a player, for Pep Guardiola, Declan.
Yeah, Guardiola with the yellow. He's arguing with the 4th official. He's gone to like put his arm around him and then I think he's whispered something in his ear. I'm not sure obviously what's been said, but he's been given a yellow. And as Josh said, he looks like an American dad at a barbecue tonight. It's a bit of a weird shirt choice, honestly, for Guardiola. It's not the usual cardigan that you used to see, and it's a very odd look, honestly. It's not something that I think he'll do again, honestly.
It's that outfit that you saw that he was wearing in the stands at West Ham. He doesn't look like he's changed.
No CP company tracksuit fit for Pep then?
No, it's some dodgy shirt to now, honestly. Not the fit that you want, honestly.
Not the sort of thing maybe Liam Rossignol would be wearing, Josh. How's he feeling out there and how are his emotions? Obviously Chelsea still 2-0 down at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I think he looks dapper, but I don't think he's feeling dapper at the minute. He looks quite frustrated on the sideline. Chelsea are actually dominating the majority of the game, to be fair. PSG kind of cut through them like butter, but Chelsea have been pressing. A lot of the football's come through Cole Palmer. João Pedro's been quite unlucky. He's not been feeling, you know, the luck of the Irish tonight because he's had a couple of sitters. One that he missed, Safanov kind of connected his arm with João Pedro's head and he headed over, but there's not too much to report. But Chelsea, bad back pass there. Sanchez has just headed out for a throw, but yeah, Chelsea controlling the game.
We're going back to barbecue dad shirts at the Etihad Stadium. Declan, has there been a chance for Man City to get back into it, or Real Madrid just putting that knife further into Manchester City?
No, honestly, it's been all Real Madrid. Article of a beautiful cross to Vinny, and again, from not that far out, he's gone for a shot and he's just curled it wide of the post. And I think Vinny should have 3 goals in half an hour, honestly. He's had 3 big chances. Obviously, one was converted with a penalty, and I think this game's going to be all Real Madrid from the looks of the first half an hour.
Cheers, Declan. And now going to League One, where Darcy Harris Norman is at Plough Lane for AFC Wimbledon against Leyton Orient.
Hello from the studio. Yes, this is a very exciting match. Wimbledon have just equalised. It goes from Junior Nakeng, who's just had his first senior goal for AFC Wimbledon. The fans were ecstatic and stayed standing for a standing ovation as they celebrate this achievement for him. So as the score currently sits, it's AFC 1, Leyton Orient 1. This is a very exciting game. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Darcy. Obviously, Wimbledon looking to push away from the bottom end of the table and potentially push higher up, where Lincoln City, obviously top of League One. You've got Cardiff City up there as well. But going from League One back to the Champions League, Leighton, I've seen your face a few times. It looks like there's some action really heating up at the Emirates.
Well, I couldn't really tell you what the Leverkusen midfield / defenders are actually doing. Zubamendi's taken a horrid touch, and they've both jumped onto it. It's gone through and it's just skimmed forward. The Leverkusen players have just left the ball. Saka's then gone through and he's shot. Keeper has saved it, pushed out for another corner, which nothing came from. But the Arsenal fans are looking like they're getting round. Oh, Declan Rice is through. Oh, no, Saka's still there. Max Dowman has just gone to warm up. What a save from the Leverkusen keeper. The ball has gone across the box. I don't know what anyone's doing here, to be fair. Skimmed across. Saka has reached it. He's played the ball back to Leandro Trossard, who has taken a first-time shot here, and the keeper has... I think it might even be his underside of his hand.
Mark Flecken.
No, it's his leg.
Goalkeeper.
He has saved it with his knee, and Arteta has run off like he did when Dalman scored on the weekend, but this one has not gone in. It is a corner to Arsenal, though.
Obviously, Arteta will be wearing his usual quarter zip, not the barbecue dad shirt that Pep Guardiola
he's gone like Cardi and Blazer, to be fair. He has gone the opposite side of Pep.
Obviously, be hoping that Arsenal can reach the quarter-finals of the Champions League, but we'll go back to the Championship now. Watford against Wrexham. Max, do Watford look like they could potentially get a third goal, or Wrexham starting to maybe find a little bit of a way back into the game?
Well, finally, I've been able to watch some of the action at Vicarage Road. The game is very scrappy, though. There's not much flow between either team. As soon as I switched on, Iman Louza got a bit of a naughty challenge on him. I'm not sure who it was. It might have been Sam Smith, but sort of off the ball, just sort of shoulder rammed him, which I'm sure wasn't appreciated by the Moroccan. But yeah, Watford, obviously with the 2-goal lead, they always say that that's a dangerous scoreline. But yeah, Wrexham so far haven't really shown any quality on the ball.
Cheers, Max. And going from the Championship to League One, we'll just run through some of the scores as we're entering half-time nearly. Blackpool 1-0 down at home to Port Vale. Bolton 0, Doncaster 0, Bradford 0, Mansfield 1. That could be a real damper for Bradford's potential promotion push. It's Burton Albion 1, Reading 1, Cardiff 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Huddersfield 2, top of the table Lincoln City 1, Luton Town 2, Exeter City 1, Peterborough United 2, Rotherham United 0, Plymouth Argyle 0, Stevenage 0, Stockport County 1, Northampton 1, and Barnsley 0, Wigan 1. But from League One to the Champions League, later, what's going on at the Etihad? Emirates story. Well, Arsenal still looking for that first goal.
Leverkusen players just don't look like they know what their feet want to do. They're playing around with it. What we'll say, like the corner, the 25-yard part of their box, in that little box. And they've just got the ball, and they're just under, like, not a lot of pressure, and he's just passed the ball off for a corner. There is no need in that situation for the ball to go out for a corner. It is mind-boggling, but that guy touched the ball, and he's just swinging his foot around. It did not look like he knew what he wanted to do. Arsenal have gone short from the corner. Trossard has played the ball in. What is going on here? Oh, keeper has got it somehow. Somehow the keeper has got the ball. I have no clue how this has happened.
Well, we've got a goal at Stamford Bridge, Josh?
It's offside, but it would have been 3-0 PSG. It's Kavicha Kvaratskhelia again, but I think it is going to be offside. It's a 1-2. I think it's Nuno Mendes, and he's just, or it might be Barcola actually. He's slotted the ball past Sanchez. I'm also going to trademark American barbecue dads, I think, as that trade line. But I was going to highlight, actually, PSG, I'm just in awe of this team, how well they're playing. We spoke earlier about how they could win the Champions League, and the way they're looking, I think they probably will, because the movement is beautiful. The front three, the wing, they're in again. Barcola's in, heavy touch. Barcola he's put it wide. But Barcola, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, they're just moving. Chelsea can't deal with it. And Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, the two fullbacks, they're really pushing up. They're moving centrally. And the way Warren Zaire-Emery, he's moving out into fullback. It's beautiful. It's so fluid, but what a turn that is. He just nutmegs Chalobah Barcola. But yeah, would have been 3-0 PSG, but it's still 2-0.
Cheers, Josh. And going back to Plough Lane, there has been a goal. But for who? Darcy Harris-Norman.
Yes, indeed, there has been another goal, and it's a second for Julian Naken. Again, like I said, this is his second senior goal as part of AFC Wimbledon. It was a cross from Steve Steddon, and he was unmarked under the post, and it was a header straight into the goal. Once again, this is his second goal, so he's on top form. AFC Wimbledon are really showing some attack and push at the moment. And we have 4 minutes remaining of extra time, and then it will be half-time, and I will get back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Darcy. And it's nearly half-time at Vicarage Road. Max Cochrane, how's that game between Watford and Wrexham going?
Well, yeah, again, Wrexham just have no quality on the ball whatsoever. It's been quite easy for the Hornets so far. I don't know what's just happened. Oh, it's half-time. Yeah. I think Kayembe got the second goal, and I don't really see any way Wrexham create anything against this stubborn Watford team. It's been a bit of a feisty affair, to be fair, as well, with Thomason also being involved in the action off the ball. But half-time at Vicarage Road, it's 2-0 to Watford.
See, that game was rescheduled due to Wrexham's fixture against Chelsea in the FA Cup. We're going to go to Broadford Road, where Max Parsons-Williams and Luke Upton are reporting on Crawley Town's game this evening.
Yeah, and you can tell what type of game it is when the loudest cheer so far has been a boo towards the referee, Harry Wager, at half-time. It's been a bit stop-start, nothing really going on, but so far, all the Crawley fans have got to shout about is their anger towards ex-Crawley man himself, Chimanganga, and the referee. So many times where Crawley have tried to defend in their own box. One of their players has been put out. The referee's not giving anything. Crawley are growing it, but it's 6 to 1, half dozen the other, where one team's on top for 5 minutes, then the other's on top for the other 5 minutes. Luke, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, have gone forward. Where it's been a 2v2, a 1v1 even. Probably really going for goal. I mean, they need it. I mean, Newport have just overtaken them in the league, 0-0 at top of the league, Bromley. So they definitely need. You can see why the fans are really up. It's a real aggressive fight atmosphere, and to be fair to Barnet, they said, "You're going to do that. We're going to do that." They've really matched it because cards in a short span last week. They've got one already today. They're
half-time in most. Are we near half-time in most games? Layson Hula, I think there's been an update at the Emirates, has there?
Well, at the minute, I have not seen that. Oh my God! Arabic Eze, what a finish! He has just taken this on the chest. And he, out of nowhere, his leg has nearly gone as high as some people would say their top of their stomach is. He has absolutely levered this past the keeper. He's doing his trademark celebration here. I don't think, as we saw against Mansfield, I don't think I have seen a player strike a ball so hard in my life. He has absolutely put his foot through that. And it just looks like the Leverkusen players just don't know what they're doing. They've given it away again. Rice has got it they're playing headers and volleys here, but just with volleys. He's taken a touch and he has absolutely smacked that into the near top corner. What a goal. 1-0 Arsenal.
Arsenal 1-0 up against Bayer Leverkusen of former Crystal Palace midfielder Arabic Eze with the goal there. But we go back to the National League South at York Road, and Marcus Mansfield is reporting on Maidenhead versus Ebbsfleet. It's currently half-time in Berkshire. Marcus, what update can you give us?
Thank you, David. Yes, half-time here at York Road. It's currently Maidenhead United 0, Ebbsfleet United 1. it's been a game of chances few and far between. When I say chances, I mean clear-cut chances. There've been opportunities for both sides. The home side had a golden opportunity through skipper Matt Robinson, who saw a central free kick fly narrowly over the top right-hand side of the goal and the crossbar, with Fleet goalkeeper Matt Hall rooted to the spot. And since then, it's sort of been back and forth, but the visitors took the lead through forward Josh Crawley after an inviting ball into the box from the left-hand side. And since then, it's sort of been back and forth. Chances few and far between for both sides. So hopefully there'll be some more action in the second half and we'll get a few more goals for you guys at home. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers for that, Marcus. Be interested to see if Maidenhead can find their way back in that tie at York Road. But I've heard some of the discussion over here that goal from Eze, it's potentially goal of the season, not only in the Champions League, but maybe for all competitions, perhaps.
To be fair, this goal could go up for Puskas Award. It is generally... Leverkusen players, as I said, don't look like they know what they're doing on the ball. They've just cleared it out half-heartedly, and it's come to Saliba, who's headed it. It was Saliba or Gabriel, and they've just headed it down to Declan Rice. Rice has chest passed it to Trossard. Trossard's taken first-time volley towards him, and it's just hit, as the people might say, it would be the luck of the Irish. He has hit that goal in. He's just taken one touch, and he's just put his absolute whole heart through it. I don't think we will see a better goal tonight. The Barcola one was good, but Eze's about nearly 30 yards out when this goal has gone in. And he's just walked off like nothing's happened when he celebrated. You wouldn't think there was a goal with the way he celebrated. You'd think he just had a nice strike. So it's still 1-0 here. Arsenal are again pressuring. Leverkusen don't look like they're doing anything.
Cheers for that, Leighton. Well, we're going to go to the BR Saunders Transport Community Stadium, where Ashley Whitewaite is reporting on Farnborough versus Dagenham and Redbridge. Ashley, what update have you got for us?
Yeah, cheers, David. Nice to be here with you guys at the moment. Yeah, you've missed quite a few goals here, I must say, at the moment, but half-time here, 2-1 at the moment to Dagenham and Redbridge. There was an equaliser from Farnborough. They did get a penalty of their own. The penalty was converted by Mason Bloomfield on the 33rd minute. Afterwards came and gone. What happened there was a few interesting tidbits of information, things that could have happened, gone either way. But in the end, there was a goal for Dagenham and Redbridge. Once more, in the 45th minute, probably the last kick of the game, of the first half even, of Paul Kanabai scoring that goal and, you know, getting Dagenham and Redbridge back in front. So going in the half-time, 2-1 to Dagenham and Redbridge. They will be obviously the more happy of the both teams at the moment. But it'll be interesting to see, as we go into the second half, what those team talks are like, what happens between the both teams, and if anything changes, if there are some substitutions and whatnot. But anyway, at the moment, it remains here, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Farnborough 1. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers for that, Ashley. But there has been a goal at the Etihad Stadium. Have Manchester City found a glimmer of hope, Declan?
Yeah, they've got a goal back. It was Doku with the cross in. And then it bounced around in the box, and Holland's literally tapped in from about 2 yards out, and it is now 4-1 on aggregate, 1-1 on the night. I still don't think City have enough to pull it back, honestly, but yeah, I think it'll be an entertaining second half, I'd like to say. I think City will bring on some of the players on the bench, like Marmoush and Semenyo, and hopefully we should get some more goals in the second half.
See, Erling Haaland, a very prolific goal scorer. He'll hope to get in that position again. You said it's quite an easy tap, and if he get into those areas a couple more times, City could really find a way back into the game, couldn't they?
Yeah, I think Doku's been the main player that's been the problem for Real Madrid tonight. There's been a lot of problems with Trent and Doku. I think he's having the better of him so far this evening, and I think if Doku can get some more crossing, I think Holland will be there to tap him in the box.
Cheers, Declan and Josh. I just saw your face there. What's going on at Stamford Bridge? Is Liam Rosenior still biting his pen at the action?
Yeah, Liam Rosenior has been quite stressed on the sideline. He's been biting the rubber of his pen. He's been up and down, back and forth off his seat. But Chelsea have had two really good chances, actually. João Pedro, a couple of minutes ago, really should have scored. Savanov makes a good save. And Cole Palmer, a minute ago, has just picked up the ball on the edge of the box, cut in on his left foot. You think he just bend it into that far corner. He hits it. It deflects, I think, off Marquinhos. Agonising, he just goes wide for a corner, really close. Chelsea putting the pressure on. Maybe it's a consolation goal, a bit like in Declan's game where City are a couple of goals behind, but Chelsea are going for it. Palmer and Pedro are close, still 2-0 PSG.
Cheers for that, Josh. And Leighton, what's going on at the Emirates Stadium? Are Arsenal still putting by Leverkusen on the back foot?
Yeah, there was a bit of foul in the. They went really short, and the ref just gave another foul for a very soft decision. Eze's got the ball, and the player's gone down crying, as they would say, but he's barely touched him. It shouldn't have been a foul, but the funniest thing that's happened since the goal is the players on the sideline, the subs warming up, just got in the way of the referee, and he's just absolutely stacked it onto the pitch. Flag gone everywhere. It's one of the funniest sights you'll see in football is a linesman absolutely stacking it. Arteta is well out of his technical box, which is meant to be believed as a foul or a yellow card these days, but somehow he escapes the rules. Still 1-0.
Still 1-0 in that one. We're nearly at half-time at Stamford Bridge. Josh, are PSG getting closer to that third goal?
Yeah, I just said Chelsea were pushing for an equaliser, and Cole Palmer's actually given the ball away straight to Vitinha, the man you don't want to give the ball to. He's just pinged it straight away. Bradley Barcola, absolutely Vitinha's just flashed a shot as well, just over the bar. But Barcola had the whole of the Chelsea half to himself. He drove and drove at Robert Sanchez. He fired low. He should have scored. That should have been the game done. Should have been 3-0 PSG. Robert Sanchez made a good save. Barcola actually went over the advertisement boards, but it's a good save by the Spaniard in goal. Still 2-0 PSG, but it should have been done.
Cheers for that, Josh. And going back to the Championship, it's half-time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Wrexham 0. Mark Buller and Edo Kayembe giving the Hornets the lead. Max Cochrane, what has Phil Parkinson got to do at half-time to potentially get Wrexham back into this tie in a game that is pretty much must-win for them?
Well, I think just getting a bit of confidence in the players to play a bit of football. I think they've made so many loose passes when they're a bit unopposed. Perhaps just feeling a bit of the pressure of how big of a game it is at Vicarage Road. Watford now have climbed up to 9th position, overtaking second City side Birmingham City, just 5 points away from their opponents tonight, Wrexham.
Cheers for that, Max and Josh. Have we got a VAR check at Stamford Bridge?
Well, it looked like it was going to be. João Pedro went down again. It's another penalty shout for Chelsea. João Pedro and Pacho again, I think it was. They sort of connected legs a little bit in the box, but Pedro, I think, leaned into him. So the PSG have actually taken the goal kick now. It's not going to be a penalty. It looked maybe, though, like Chelsea had a good shout, but it's not been given.
Cheers for that, Josh. And we will come back to the Champions League soon. It is nearly half-time in those games. We'll go around the grounds now to League One, where it's pretty much half-time in most games. I can find the fixture. It is currently Luton 3, Exeter 1, Blackpool 0, Port Vale 1. We'll come back to those scores shortly as we got an update at the White Home Stadium. Harvey, Sam and Heaven at Wimborne against Walton and Hersham.
We're here at half-time in Wimborne Town, where it's Wimborne Town 1, Walton and Hersham 2. And we're here with Heaven, like I said earlier, our resident Canadian, and she's got a burger. She's got a Wimborne Town burger.
I'm really excited. Let's try it.
First ever non-league burger, I believe.
First ever. Where do I even start? Okay, this part looks cheesy, so.
Good impression so far. There's a smile going on here. She's laughing. I'll give her a second. Still giving her more seconds. I mean, that's a pretty decent burger, to be fair, and it was only in $5.50, something like that.
Look, it could use some ketchup. And I did see some ketchup, but the bottle was squished, and it was surrounded by a bunch of teenage boys, so I didn't get any. But other than that, it's quite good.
Does that lose some points on your end?
Yeah, just a little bit. But it's still good. Food is food. We were thinking about this burger for a while, and we almost missed a couple goals because of it. But
very true, very true. What would you give it a rating then?
Out of 10?
Yeah, 100%.
Like a 7, 6 or 7.
Yeah, we will take that, won't we? For a £5.50 burger here at Wimborne Town. We're looking forward to the second half. We've got our burgers ready for the second half now.
Cheers for that, Harvey. Heaven enjoying her bit of British cuisine in Dorset, we see. Going back to those League One scores, it's Luton Town 3, Exeter 1, Blackpool 0, Port Vale 1, Huddersfield Town 2, top of the table Lincoln City 1, Plymouth 0, Stevenage 0, Bolton 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Peterborough United 2, Rotherham 0, Cardiff City 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Stockport County 1, Northampton 1, AFC Wimbledon 2, Leyton Orient 1, Burton Albion 1, Reading 1, Bradford City 0, Mansfield Town 0, and Barnsley 0, Wigan Athletic 1. We'll go to our first in the panel. Is it nearly half-time at the Etihad, Declan, and have Manchester City kept pushing on for that second goal potentially?
We're into plus 3 minutes and 30 of the 3 minutes of additional time. As of now, I don't think Man City have done a lot. It's been mostly Madrid. And Vinny's just gone down there. I think Kusanov got a yellow card for it. I'm not sure there was much in it, honestly. I think Vinny's gone down very easily. And yeah, I don't think City will be able to get back into this in the second half. I think it's been a poor showing, though, from City. And it feels like I'm watching the wrong Madrid side at the moment. It feels like I'm watching a Simeone side. They're putting everyone behind the ball and just, when they get the ball, they're just throwing everyone forward. It feels like I'm watching the wrong Madrid side. I think the referee has just blown for half-time. It looks like. Oh, he's blown for something. I think Vinny's got into a bit of an altercation with someone. There's Ruben Diaz and Vinny anyway look like they're having an altercation. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll try and get more for you on that one.
It's half-time at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal won by a Leverkusen 0. Later, do you feel like Arsenal could potentially have more than the one goal? Or do you think the one goal really just suits Mikel Arteta's side at this point?
Oh, as we've been saying, I think they're going too passive. Arsenal could have many more goals. There's been many chances where they've been through on goal and they get to the box and they're just passing it round, just slowing it down. We have to remember this is a Champions League night. You want to show you are the best of the best, and by going out and scoring goals shows that teams should be scared of you. But they're not making it as such, so they should be scared of you. They're just passing it around slowly like they do in the Prem, and it's where Arsenal fans will start to get agitated, as they did on Saturday before Dalman came on. So maybe Dalman comes on in the second half and brings another explosive light to this game.
Cheers for that, Leighton, and it's half-time at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, Josh, Chelsea 0, PSG 2. Could Liam Rosina potentially looking at his substitutes going into the second half?
Yeah, we mentioned Esteval's back on the bench, isn't he? I think he's someone that could come on. You've also got Garnacho and Liam Delap who are kind of attacking changes, but I think both teams will probably be quite happy it's half-time. I think Rosina will want to get his players in, get them motivated. The crowd have kind of tried to galvanise something in that Chelsea side, but it's just not clicked, and PSG have been superb, so I think they'll go in. You know, they got a big lead at half-time, 2-0 up. They'll be happy. But it's been a really good game of football. I think Chelsea are going to need something really special.
Cheers for that, Josh. And going from Stamford Bridge to Latimer Park, we're going to go to Riven Corbett and Jake Pearce. They're watching Kettering Town versus AFC Sudbury.
Yeah, it's 2-0 here to Kettering Town as both teams are about to come out of half-time. I've got some food with me, though. Interesting first half, but you've got to go get some scran runner at the footy at the end of the day. Some cheesy chips on show at the food van. £4, not too bad, but when it's chips with just some grated cheese, then it does the job. I think I saw 6 out of 10. Rating wise with the price, probably about a 7 or 8. So, but interesting first half, second half underway. 2-0 Kettering. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Riven. And going back to Vicarage Road, Max, you're looking at your screen. Is there actually many fans at Vicarage Road? Does it look quite empty for a championship game where both sides have still got something to play for?
I mean, the Watford end certainly does look a bit empty. I would say pushing half full, for a championship game, of the magnitude that is, a playoff 6-pointer of tonight. It's a bit disappointing. And also Wrexham, when they were in the National League, when they went to Coventry, for example, they brought 5,500 fans to Coventry, but also the away end is looking pretty scarce. But there was a half-time substitute as Josh Windass came on for the Welsh side as they look to galvanise to get back into the game, hopefully getting a point or hopefully 3 for them.
And Declan, going back to the Champions League, what does Pep Guardiola's side like Liam Rossini potentially have to look amongst his substitutes bench? Do you feel like the players have got out there, Shirky, Doku, Haaland's got a goal? Do you reckon there's enough quality there to try and claw 3 goals back?
I think there's enough quality there. I do think they'll look at the subs bench. Obviously, you've got Marmoush, Foden, Semenyo. There's a lot of star power on that bench. Obviously, a lot of players have been coming in and out for City as they've had a lot of injuries and a lot of fixtures. Obviously, they've got that big cup final at the weekend. I'm not too sure if they'll make a substitute at the start of the second half. I'd be surprised if they do. If anyone's going to come off, I think it might be Reinders. He's been probably the poorest of the attack for Man City. But I do think Real Madrid, they've got even more star power on the bench, obviously, with Mbappe, the big name who's back today. I'm not sure, obviously, in that second half, City can get 3 goals and take it to extra time. So I think Real Madrid have probably already seen this one through already.
And Leighton at the Emirates. Arsenal, they obviously have Max Darwin on the bench. Could we see Arteta bring the 16-year-old at some point? Do you reckon maybe, obviously they're 1-0 up. Obviously he came on and killed the game against Everton. Potentially the same scenario could be in the pipeline in the second half.
I feel like there is a very, very strong chance he comes on. I'm just reading here, Arsenal have had 12 shots in that first half. We haven't really seen that from an Arsenal team in a while. They've had 7 on target. It's not something you really see from Arsenal. They're coming out shooting, and we've seen here the goal come from outside the box, whereas we know Arsenal recently haven't been shooting outside the box. They had their most shots outside the box on the weekend in 14. Maybe we do see a Dalman today. Maybe we don't. Maybe Martinelli comes on instead. But I think this will be great experience for Dalman as we just see this goal again at half-time. I think if he'd have gone a tiny bit harder, I believe he would have broken the net here. He has absolutely levered that, and he's on a strain. Keeper is getting absolutely nowhere near it as I'm just seeing the replay of this goal.
Cheers for that, Leighton. Going from the Champions League to the Velocity Wessex Premier. Alfie Faulkner is at Beatrice Avenue between East Cowes, Victoria and AFC Stoneham. Alfie, what's the update on the island?
I'm sure, as you can hear, David, it's getting very vocal over here. There's been shots not going quite in, which is the issue so far. It's been definitely end to end, but Stoneham are being humbled so far by East Cowes Vics. There's a corner going on as we speak. This is the 3rd in the last 5 minutes, and Stoneham has still yet managed to hit the back of the net with another defensive display that has been superb from the home side. And I think this home advantage is definitely clear as of yet, David.
Cheers for that, Alfie. And I believe there has been a goal in the Championship. Max Cochran, what update have you got for us?
Well, Wrexham are back in it. It was a corner from Oliver Rathbone, who got the equaliser in the game earlier on in the season, and he swung it in, and Max Cleworth rose highest to just guide the ball into the far corner, as Wrexham have got now 40 minutes to get one more goal to get back onto level terms, as it's 2-1 at Vicarage Road.
Cheers for that, Max. We're going to go to League One now. Darcy Harris Norman at Plough Lane for AFC Wimbledon against Leyton Orient. Darcy, what update have you got?
It's only in the 48th. Hello, yes, thank you. It now sits AFC Wimbledon 2, Leyton Orient 2. In the 48th minute, Dominic Ballard, who's their top goal scorer, got his 2nd goal. It was a left-footed shot to the bottom of the goal, and it was a quick attack from Leyton Orient. The Leyton Orient fans are ecstatic that they're back in the game, and like I said, this London derby is a jam-packed one with goals. I'll get back to you with any other action. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers for that, Darcy. In League One, it's now Luton Town 3, Exeter 1. We obviously had the game there. AFC Wimbledon now level with Leyton Orient. Former Southampton youngster Dom Ballard getting a brace at Plough Lane there. It's Enfield Town 0, Dorking Wanderers 3. Earlier in the show, we were talking about Dorking's push for promotion. Max, I know you're very familiar with the National League South. Charlie Carter, former Football League player, he's obviously gone to Dorking and done a very good job for Mark White's side. Is this going to be Dorking season? Are they going to get to the promised land of the National League and one step closer to League Two potentially?
Well, when you look at their squad, they have got certainly one of the strongest in the league. Charlie Carter, as you just said, captain of Dorking Wanderers, I believe personally is the best player in the National League South. The midfielder who's got, you know, in double figures for goals and assists this season, despite having a few injuries. He's just, you know, he's the man that you can rely on when you need a goal. So yeah, I think for Dorking, if they can keep all their main players fit, although they've got like Jimmy Mewett who broke their ankle, and recently loaned in Paul McCallum, who's also had a groin injury. But if they can keep those, key players fit, I don't see any reason why they can't go on and win the title.
Yeah, and going up a league to the National League, we have got a goal at St James's Park between Brackley Town and Solihull Moors. Toby Dickinson.
Thank you, David. Yeah, it's an unbelievable goal by Solihull Moors. Brackley Town started the better in their second half, but Solihull Moors just picked up the ball in the midfield. Isaac Moore and an unbelievable strike into the bottom right-hand corner. The keeper had no chance. Unbelievable goal, and it was against the run of play as well, which is shocking because Brackley really were getting a foothold in this game. Back to you in the studio, David.
Cheers, Toby, and we are still at half-time in the Champions League fixtures. We talked about City potentially changing it up, Chelsea as well, but later Dubai Leverkusen potentially have to change it up. You've been very vocal about how they've not really defended well and they've let Arsenal put them on the back foot. Do you think maybe Bayern need to make some changes to make sure that they don't lose this game?
Well, at the minute they've had 2 shots on target at goal. They've had for going off like chances and stuff, they probably need to change a whole lot. They haven't looked like threatening the Arsenal goal. They've not had, I don't believe, 1 shot on target. They've had 1 shot on target all game. They have an XG of 0.5. Every pass they seem to make just seems to be the wrong pass. They're playing it out. They're kicking it off the corners for no reason. This second half needs to be strong for Leverkusen, because if they don't hit it now or don't turn it up now, this will be the end of their road. And they currently sit 5 points outside of a Champions League place, and they're currently in the conference positions in the Bundesliga. We all know how they would do in the Bundesliga. In the Conference League, they'd probably go on and win it, as we've seen strong Premier League sides go and do. But that's not where Leverkusen should be. They went unbeaten in the league. They could finish second last year. They've had a lot of injuries this season. Tello going off injured. You've had Boniface leaving. So there's been quite a few pauses in the season, but it's not where Leverkusen should be or how, as a team, they should be playing.
Max, going back to the Championship, Wrexham looking like they're putting up a good fight to potentially get back in the game and get another goal back, and potentially that equaliser that Phil Parkin's side will need in this top 6 push.
Well, there's been no real attacks of any sort for either team since the goal, but having said that, Wrexham do look a different side. They have clearly grown in confidence from that goal, which obviously is very important for their playoff ambitions of potentially 4 promotions in a row. But Watford are currently on the ball here, just seemingly a bit comfortable on the ball.
The Ed Steele side, they'll be potentially looking to sit back a little bit. Obviously they can push up the table and get themselves in the mix. You look at next season potentially, Watford may not have to do as much work. Going back to the Champions League, Chelsea versus Paris Saint-Germain. Josh, has there been any changes by either team at half-time?
Yeah, the team's just come out and we've actually got a change for either side. They're just about to put the board, so I haven't seen it, but it's 2 youngsters. It's Seni Mayulu for PSG. Obviously, he scored in the final last year. And then you have Josh Achempong for Chelsea. Number 80, so it's João Neves coming off for PSG for Mayulu, and then Achempong's coming on. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mamadou Sarr. We saw the goals back at half-time. We had a little bit of a breather. And Chelsea really put him under pressure. They all shifted the whole defence, left him on that island, as I said about earlier, for Kvaratskhelia. And he just made a mistake. He's a young lad. I think he has come off. They haven't shown the board still. Achempong's come on. He does normally play at right back, which is where Sarr was. But both teams making a change. Dembele will kick us off. We're about to start, but Chelsea are going to need something special, and it does look like it is indeed Mamadou Sarr that's come off.
See, bringing off a young player, but bringing on a young player as well. But with the options and the injury crisis Liam Racina's going through, he's not got much choice there, is he?
No, and I'm actually surprised that Racina hasn't opted maybe for an additional attacker. They've kind of got nothing to lose, have they, Chelsea, now? They're 5 goals down on aggregate, and I thought maybe a Delap would come on, a Garnacho would come on, but Achempong could kind of come on without pressure. He's facing a really tough challenge, and whoever's on that left side, because they move so much in that attack, but Achempong's moving at right back. He just needs Chalobah to give him that support, because that's what Sarr didn't get in Chelsea. The kind of start they had set the tone for the rest of the game.
Cheers for that, Josh. And going back to Latimer Park, Riven Corbett at Kettering Town versus AFC Sudbury. Riven, what's the update in Kettering?
Yeah, it's 3-0 now for Kettering Town. Another goal for the home side. Kai Williams this time, wonderfully weighted the ball, from Ismail Fataggio. Played in Kai Williams on his weaker left side and drilled it into the far right-hand corner. And Kettering have been all over the away side so far. And obviously after that 4-1 win against AFC Sudbury on Saturday, as I can hear the home fans behind me with another chance, essentially ball just zipped over the bar. But Kettering are all over AFC Sudbury at the moment, even despite the third goal. 3-0 Kettering Town. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers for that, Riven. And going to League Two, there's a few results coming in. Notts County 2-0 up in their chase for promotion. Max Cochrane, you obviously know a bit about your League Two football. Salford also 1-0 up. Notts County putting some pressure on Cambridge, now up to 67 points, 2 points off Cambridge United. That's going to be a massive turning point for Notts County in their season.
Yeah, some big score lines in League Two. Obviously, Notts County, before the season started, all their fans were hoping for a sort of playoff push, potentially going into that promotion, top three in League Two. But when you look around the division, there's also a big result or scoreline currently at the bottom of the table with Harrogate Town, who started the day bottom, and they travelled to 20th place Tranmere, and they're currently 3-0 up. Which is sort of a surprising scoreline as Harrogate have really been quite poor since the turn of the year. But yeah, going back to Notts County, I think with the likes of Jody Jones, who's a name that most people now recognise. They've got such a depth of quality in Nottinghamshire. So I think for where they sit now, they sort of have to look to get into that top three.
And going up to League One at AFC Wimbledon, they were 2-1 up, but that looks like things have changed there at Plough Lane. Darcy Harris-Norman, what update have you got for us?
Hello, thank you. Yes, it was in the 57th minute. James Morris had a right-footed shot to the centre of the box and went into the bottom left corner. He was just in the centre, unmarked, and it went straight into the left-hand corner, like I said. It now currently sits Leighton Town through AFC 2. As you can tell, the Leighton fans are now very up for this game as they're now ahead for the second time since the start. Like I said, both teams are now pushing for another goal. AFC Wimbledon are determined to bounce back, but unfortunately are struggling in the final quarter of the pitch. But yes, that's all I've got to update you on in a second. That's, like I said, Leighton Orient 3, AFC Wimbledon 2.
Cheers for that, Darcy. And going to Broadfield Road, Crawley Town in League Two. Max Parsons-Williams, Luke Upton, what have you got for that game against Barnet?
Yeah, and it's taken 55 minutes, but we finally have the breakthrough. And unfortunately for Crawley, it came from the visitors, Barnet. It's Callum Stead who got on the end of a long cross towards the back stick. His neat header across was found by Mark Shelton, who smashed it home from only sort of 3 or 4 yards out. And that's sort of enlivened Crawley now. But Luke, where does that leave the hosts?
Yeah, it's really disappointing from a Crawley perspective. I mean, they're relying on Newport County to lose, who are currently drawing 0-0 at Bromley. But it means that a goal drought of since February 1st, they've scored 3 games. They just don't look like scoring. They look utterly hopeless going forward. But they're going forward now, cross intercepted easily. It's really disappointing from Crawley. They don't look like they're about as sharp as a spoon. Yeah, it's not going to be a beautiful day for these Crawley fans here.
Back to you in the studio.
Cheers for that, guys. And Declan Murphy, has there been a change yet? Yeah, but maybe a change that you might not expect?
There's been a few changes that I wouldn't expect. So I did say that Reinders, if anyone, would be the one to come off, but he's made way for Ake, and Diaz, he's also made way for Guehi. But for Real Madrid, Courtois come off for Lunnon. I'm not sure if there's an injury there, but yeah, they've subbed off the keeper and brought on the substitute keeper there. So I'm not sure what the tactical thought is behind that or if there is an injury. But yeah, 3 weird substitutions in my game, honestly.
Cheers for that, Declan. It's obviously Courtois coming off is going to be a big blow for Real Madrid. Leighton, how's your game at the Emirates Stadium going? Is the second half picking up a little bit?
Well, I will give you one guess at how the second half has started. Arsenal on top again. A strike comes straight in from Trossard, and from one angle it looks like it's going narrowly wide, and he's absolutely put his foot around it. It's like Eze, he's put his foot right round it. Just slightly wide of the post as Bayern Leverkusen look to try and keep hold of the ball at the minute. With no subs in this half at the minute, so we'll see how this half goes on. Hopefully we can get a few more goals and make this tie a bit more entertaining as such.
Cheers for that, Leighton. And going back to the National League South at York Road, Maidenhead United versus Ebbsfleet United. Marcus Mansfield.
Thank you, David. Yes, 68th minute here, and it is currently 2-0 to Ebbsfleet as they minutes ago doubled their advantage. Now, despite some relentless pressure from the home side here at the start of the second half, it was once again the catalyst, Josh Crawley, who looked dangerous on the counter, and his fine footwork allowed him to find midfielder Toby Edser, who curled his effort from the edge of the area past the outstretched Van Stappershoff in the Maidenhead goal to give Ebbsfleet a 2-goal lead and double their advantage. Maidenhead are currently on the attack here, but nothing's come of it. So back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers for that, Marcus. And going towards Hampshire, where we are, there's been a goal for Farnborough. Ashley Whiteway.
Cheers, David. There's been another goal here at the game here. As you can see, as I've been able to see, even the game has been pretty good at the moment. But yeah, unfortunately, from the Farnborough perspective, there has been another goal for Dagenham and Redbridge. The substitute, Amadi Ote, has come on and he has converted. He's found himself in the space, run into the box, one-on-one with the keeper, and he's coolly given themselves a 2-goal deficit going into this one. We are looking at the moment, it looks like it could run out of time, and unfortunately for Farnborough, it might not be the result they're looking for after a first half that promises so much, but at the moment, unfortunately, been delivering so little. As I say here, 3-1, Dagenham and Redbridge. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers for that, Ashley. And the action is really starting to brew in the Champions League over here. Declan, how's your game going? Is it building that entertainment? Are Manchester City finding a way to get back into it?
Well, there was 2 big chances from Haaland. Doku with a low cross in the box. Haaland, he put some venom behind that strike, and it was a good save by Lunin, and then the follow-up he's put way over the bar. And I think City have come out in the second half with all the momentum so far, but it's a bit weird how they've not brought in any attackers. And again, I'm not sure what Pep's thinking here, but he's always got a method behind his madness, and I think there's something going on here as the ball's in the City boys out for a corner. There's a good chance there. Howson's headed it out for a corner, and yeah, still 1-1 in my game so far.
Cheers for that, Declan. And we're going to go to Buckinghamshire now, where Ben Groden is reporting on Chesham Town. Ben Groden, what update have you got for us?
Yes, David, there's finally been a goal to break the deadlock here at the Meadow. It did come to the hosts, Chesham United. It's a decent bit of play. They've been knocking on the door ever since the ref blew the whistle to start this second period. The ball came to Giorgio Rasulo on the edge of the area, and he smashed it home to the left side of the goal, leaving Tottenham keeper Ryan Gosney with no chance. Since then, Matt Lynch, probably Chesham's star player, I'd say, in this game so far, he has now been taken off with injury. So, yeah, it's still 1-0. It's Chesham. Back to you.
Cola's injured.
Is he?
Cheers for that, Ben. You look like you sat in the entrance towards the Luton Town away end there, but you look like you're having a very good time in that game for Chesham Town. Josh, going back to the Champions League, how's the action going at Stamford Bridge? Have things got a little bit stale, or PSG potentially pushing for more goals?
Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit stale and a little bit scrappy, I'd say, David. I mean, Bradley Barcola's just come off. I'm not sure completely if he's coming off, but Desire Doué was warming up about 5 minutes ago with his shirt out, bib over the top, and Barcola has just limped off the pitch with a physio, so I'll wait to see if he comes off. That'll be a real shame for the French champions, because in the words of Gary Cinnamon, he really scored a belter earlier, Bradley Barcola, but not too much is happening. Bit scrappy, but I'll let you know if he comes off.
Desiree Doué stole the headlines in the Champions League last season, was pivotal to PSG winning their first European honour. If he can come on now, he can really kill that game off for Luis Enrique's side, can't he?
Well, against Monaco, he actually started on the bench in the first leg, and PSG went down to a 2-0 early lead, and Barcola come on for Dembele. Pedro's just put it wide. That was a big chance, but Desire Doué came on against Monaco in that game and really flipped the game. So if he can come on, he might just add further worse for wear for Chelsea and just end the game even more. But a good chance there for João Pedro.
Cheers for that, Josh. And Leighton, are Arsenal pushing for that second goal? It's Max Dowman looking like he's going to come on. What's going on in North London?
Currently, at the minute, it's all Leverkusen. They've put their act together. Quanson's on the ball. Ball's gone into the box. It's gone straight to Raya. But at the minute, Arsenal can't seem to get out of their half. They're playing it nicely, though, around the back of the park. It's just... There's not a lot of intensity there from this Arsenal side, as you'd expect from a team that, as we said, are going to win the quad. Well, trying to win the quad. He's now come out to Saka on the edge of the box to Trossard. Can he strike it? He's put the ball in and it's gone out. And Bayer Leverkusen have cleared. It's a little bit lacklustre at the minute.
Cheers for that, Leighton. We're going to go to the Memorial Stadium in League 2. Bristol Rovers versus Shrewsbury Town. James McLean has the update for us.
Thank you, David. Bristol Rovers have just gone close with Yusuf at Hamrich. But what I was going to tell you about is that George Lloyd is still causing issues for this Bristol defence. He was pulled down twice to my right here, and one of them caused an almighty scuffle in the box. The Bristol keeper, Bradley Young, came out to try and punch it. He missed. Then Tom Anderson of Shrewsbury had a go. He also missed. His diving header didn't go anywhere, didn't go in the goal. Then it came the turn of Will Boyle. He tried his best but couldn't find the target either. So apart from that, not much has really changed. It still remains 0-0 at the Memorial Stadium. So back to you in the studio.
Cheers for that, James. And Josh, there's been a triple change at Stamford Bridge, I believe.
Yeah, there's about to be. The ball's still in play at the minute, but Alejandro Garnacho, Liam Delap, and I believe it's Romeo Lavia are coming on. And it looks like Bradley Barcola is going to come off as well. PSG have just got the ball in their hour and a half now, Marquinhos. So give me 30 seconds and I'll let you know.
Cheers, Josh. And Max, there's 20 minutes to go at Vicarage Road. It's still not much going on between Ed Still and Phil Parkinson's side, or Wrexham finding a way, or Watford trying to kill the game off.
Well, as you said, that Wrexham had an effort cleared off the line. Don't really know who it was off, but it was from a corner, and it was a bit of manic in the penalty area with I believe Pollock clearing it off the line for Watford. But ever since Issa Kabore's come on down that right-hand side for Wrexham, he's looked the main threat for the Welsh side. The ball's been constantly fed out to him, and he's put in many good deliveries for Smith to attack, but no luck for him. But to be fair, Wrexham have sort of been quite controlled on the ball, and look like they're going to be the team, if there is going to be another goal, to get it.
Cheers for that, Max. And going back to Latimer Park, Kettering Town against AFC Sudbury, Riven Corbett.
Yeah, it's 4-0 now to Kettering Town. A penalty, Eddie Panther slotting it home into the bottom left-hand corner past the goalkeeper in the Sudbury net. And Kettering all over Sudbury still. And the home side really, really trying to put this one away, and some. I've managed to finish my chips now after half-time. I've enjoyed it. It's a good game so far. 4-0 Kettering against AFC Sudbury. Back to you in the studio.
I'm getting a double soon, mine.
Cheers, Riven. There's been a lot of substitutes going on in around the Champions League games. Josh, what changes you had at Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, some huge changes from Chelsea. It's Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro and Cole Palmer. Sort of their three main men really in attack. Those are the players that come off for Garnacho, Lavia and Delap. And for PSG, Bradley Barcola has come off. He was wincing in pain as he came off. Desire Doué, as we mentioned earlier, is the man on, but Barcola will be really happy with his performance. He was a threat throughout the 60 minutes he's played, doubling PSG's lead in this tie, scoring his second against Chelsea. And yeah, some big changes from Liam Rosenior, big calls. They need to score 5 goals to get this to extra time, but at the minute it's still 2-0 PSG. And
Leighton, there's been some changes at the Emirates, has there?
Yeah, so I didn't grab the first player that has gone off, but Poku has come off, and Cam Berth and Tillman have come on. Tillman has a very, very bright future for him. So maybe he can change the tide of this game, maybe he can't, but they are the double substitution from Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal, no movement on their bench as so far.
We're going to go to the White Home Stadium for Wimborne Town against Walton and Hersham. Harvey, Heaven and Sam, what update have you got for us?
Well, there have actually been 2 goals here in Wimborne Town since we contacted you. One being Wood and the other one once again being their leading goal scorer this season, Rogalski. And it seems that Walton and Hersham have now put the game to bed just on the stroke of the 80th minute. What do you think here, Heaven? Do you think the game's over?
Might be, but, you know, honestly, at the beginning of the second half, Wimborne looked pretty promising. I felt like they had way more chances than Walton and Hersham did. But obviously, Walton and Hersham just scored 2 goals, and both of them were lovely. And, yeah.
It's definitely their quality that's shining through, wouldn't you say, Sam?
Yeah, no, it's just in those big moments here.
Bit of technical gremlins in the system there, but we're going to go to the Etihad Stadium where Declan is watching Manchester City against Real Madrid. We'll come to that in a second. There has been a goal. Josh White-Jones.
What a goal again. It's PSG again. It's Seni Mayulu. It's the young guy that came on at half-time, the central midfielder. He's just absolutely smashed it into the back of the net. I was actually about to say a minute ago, Liam Delap should have scored. It was an amazing save by Safanov. I'm just going to wait and see the replay, but it's come to the young Frenchman at the edge of the box. Mayulu, I believe it's his weak foot, and he's smashed it. It's not going to rival Eberieze's goal earlier, sadly, but it's a great finish. Chelsea's fans are leaving the stadium in their herds. Liam Rossini is stressed on the sideline. 3-0 PSG, game done.
Cheers for that, Josh. And there's been a 6th goal at Plough Lane. Darcy Harris-Norman is reporting on AFC Wimbledon against Leyton Orient.
Yes, thank you, David. I have come with another goal, but for Leyton Orient. Number 15 was told to shoot, and he shoot for a far from across the post, and that he did. All the fans yelled, and yes, he did, but he missed, and the goalkeeper tapped it away, and number 32 got his hat-trick, and that was Tom Ballard. Like I said, his hat-trick for today's game. Now we've had some substitutions. We have what the club like to call Super Matty Stevens is coming on for AFC Wimbledon, hoping he can break this 4-2 score. Like I said, Leyton Orient fans are very happy that they're up at this game on the London derby. Lots of action to come. Get back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Darcy. And back to the White Homes. Not going to go back to the White Home Stadium, but we are going to go back to Declan, who I was trying to talk to, but Josh had a goal at Stamford Bridge. Declan, there's been a controversial change by Pep Guardiola at the Etihad, you're telling me.
Yeah, double substitution, and it was Núñez and Haaland, the goal scorer, that's been brought off, and they've brought on Semenyo, who's recently just won Player of the Month, and Marmouche has come on. I think that Haaland one's a bit of a...
Great finish, that's a goal.
There's a goal at the Emirates.
Declan Rice, the ball has been cleared out by the Leverkusen players, and he's taken a beautiful touch about 45 yards out. And he's just taken, it's just one touch, no player surrounding him. It's like you are playing beginner on FIFA here. No players pressing one bit. Outside the foot, beautifully placed into the bottom corner. Keeper was rooted to the spot. That is 2-0 now. 3-1 on aggregate. Maybe it is Max Dowman time. The game is pretty much done and dusted here.
Well, I wonder if Thomas Tuchel will be sitting there at home, or if he is at the Emirates with a smile on his face that 2 Englishmen have scored Leyton, Eze and now Declan Rice.
I think both of them are nailed on 4 spots. That is a great finish. It's just nicked the outside of the post. And it's not even like properly placed it. Or it's just missed out. But he's not even properly like placed it. He's just like dibbled at it, to be fair, if that makes any sense.
Cheers for that, Leyton and Declan. We'll try not to cut you off this time. You go back to those changes. There been any more after that, or have there been any action on the pitch, any indication that Man City are going to find a way back, or is it going to be Real Madrid going to those quarterfinals?
It's been a bit of a boring second half compared to the first. I think the subs from Pep probably tactical, as they've got the cup final this weekend. Haaland, I don't know why they've took him off, but Vinny's been played through here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, I think the subs have been a bit tactical, and yeah, I don't think there'll be many more goals in my game, unfortunately.
And going to Latimer Park, Kettering Town versus AFC Sudbury Riven Corbett.
It's 5-0 to Kettering Town, an absolute onslaught from the home side at the moment, matching their highest goal record from this season of 5-0 against Stourbridge. 5-0 here now. Nathan Jetty touching it down from a ball in from the far hand side. Good turn, pivot, but into the bottom left-hand corner. Good finish from the striker as he just came onto the field. 5-0 Kettering Town here at Latimer Park. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Riven. And at Stamford Bridge, Josh, a PSG looking for a fourth goal potentially, or a Chelsea still putting in a little bit of a fight, or is it game over practically for Chelsea?
I think it is. I think it's game over. I mean, they need to score 6 goals to even get extra time. Not much has happened. I mean, the PSG fans have been actually waving at the Chelsea fans saying goodbye because it's pretty much done. Garnacho had a little chance, maybe a bit of complacency in the PSG ranks at the back, but not too much has happened. A lot of the ball has been with PSG. I think every time they attack, they look like they might score. Mayulu's been really good off the bench, and Hernandez.
We've got a goal at the Etihad. Declan Murphy.
I think it's just been ruled offside. Doku's got it. He was literally free, ran pretty much the whole length of the pitch, and yeah, I'm not sure if they'll go to VAR and check it, but yeah, offside for Doku's as of now.
We'll go back to the Champions League shortly. We'll go to the White Home Stadium in Dorset, Wimborne Town, against Walton and Hersham. Harvey, Heaven and Sam.
It is still 4-1 here in Dorset. Wimborne Town behind, and Walton and Hersham look like they're going to be extending their lead at the top of the table to 15 points. Sam, the game's got to be over now. There's only 3 minutes left.
Yeah, no, well, it was a game that was certainly, in the balance, but then the away side just scored 2 quick goals in a period of about 5 minutes, and you've got to say it's probably over now, and you can see, the bit of quality they showed there. It's probably why they're league leaders.
I think maybe it's a bit unfair on Wimborne Town today. They've played very well, I think. Could you agree with that?
Yeah, no, they've been excellent today, but in those big moments, turning chances into goals, it's only been one side that's done it.
Anyways, that seems to be it here. That will extend Walton and Hersham's lead to 6 wins in their last 6 matches. It's 4-1 to Walton and Hersham here in Dorset.
Cheers for that, Harvey. We're going to go across the pond to the Isle of Wight. Alfie Faulkner reporting on East Cowes' victoria against AFC Stoneham.
Yes, David, we finally had a goal. It only took 77 minutes for the top of the league side, Stoneham, to net the goal. They've been plummeting down towards the East Cowes goalkeeper thoroughly in the second half. I mean, to me, this game has been a tale of 2 halves, and I think there's more to come in this game. It's been very action-packed so far, but as time goes on, players are getting more and more frustrated with the lack of goals, but I think it is going to be a promising match from here on out, David.
Cheers for that, Alfie. Across the Solent, we're going to go back to the Emirates Stadium. Leighton, is Eze potentially nursing an injury there?
So we're just coming up to subs. I think he might be coming off. We have Zubimendi coming off at the minute for Christian Norgard. But just before that, Eze has just gone down on the floor, holding his ankle. So this might be a really big problem. We have Trossard and Ben White also coming off for Martinelli and Mosquera. Not the sight many fans would have wanted. Many would have wanted it to be Max Dowman. However, it is Martinelli, Norgard and Mosquera. But to touch on that Eze stuff, he's gone through and he's then pulled, I think he was wearing a headband or something, and he's just yanked it off, and then he's looked at the bench and he's just holding his ankle. So for England fans, just hope this isn't serious. He is walking off with the medical bag and the medical team. Hopefully they do not deem it serious and they don't take the risk of playing him. I couldn't even tell you where this injury might have possibly come from at this moment in time, but it's not looking good. He's able to walk, and that is a positive.
Yeah, for Mikel Arteta and Thomas Tuchel, that would not be ideal. But we're going to go to York Road now, where Marcus Mansfield is reporting on Maidenhead United against Ebbs Fleet.
Thank you, David, where it's currently Maidenhead United 0, Ebbsfleet United 3. Despite the pressure from the Magpies since Ebbsfleet went 2 goals to the good, they have conceded a third following a penalty. The Fleet were attacking down the left-hand side. I couldn't quite tell who had the ball, but they were fouled in the area, and the referee pointed immediately to the spot. Kwesi Appiah stepped up to take the penalty and smashed the ball into the roof of the net to put the Kent side 3 to the good as the game heads towards its conclusion. The home side have just had a penalty shout here as well of their own, but the referee immediately waved it away. I will keep you guys updated. Currently, Maidenhead United 0, Ebbsfleet United 3. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers, Marcus. I'm going to St James's Park in the league above the National League It is Brackley against Solihull Moors. Toby Dickinson.
Thank you, David. It's Brackley Town 1, Solihull Moors 1. It was an unbelievable goal for Brackley. They had a corner. It was headed back across the box by their defender. And then Matty Lowe, number 11, headed the ball back across the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Sorry about that.
4 minutes, number 29, Bradley Stevenson going off. Being replaced by number 19, Emmanuel Sanu.
Some action going on at the Emirates Stadium. Later, you just said Eze's gone off for Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
What else is going on in North London?
Well, Eze's come off for Kai Havertz, and I don't think this might not count, but he's come on for Havertz, and believe it or not, Havertz is straight in the mix. He's pulling onto the guy's shirt, and it's just rolled off the keeper's hand into the guy's shirt and slightly onto Havertz's hand, and he's tried to chuck a knee at it. This could be an own goal if this counts, but I don't think it will count. Arsenal players are celebrating. I don't believe it's counting. It is handball. It has been cleared. They are about to get back on with the game.
Cheers. Later, we'll go over some of the scores quickly. Peterborough United 5, Rotherham United 0, Cardiff 2-0 down at home to Wycombe Wanderers. Dorking 4-2 up at Enfield Town. But we're going to go to the Memorial Stadium now, where James McLean is reporting on Bristol Rovers against Shrewsbury Town.
Thank you, David. I finally got a goal. It was for Bristol Rovers. It's looking like Shrewsbury's run of failing to beat Bristol Rovers is going to extend to 6 games. The cross came from the right side of the pitch. It fell to the feet of Tommy Lee. There was plenty of players involved in that. None of them could get anywhere near it. There was a player on the line. He couldn't stop it. Matthew Cox dived as much as he could to his left. That couldn't stop it either. It ruffled the net, and it's gone to Bristol Rovers 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. Back to the studio.
Cheers, James. And there's been a big change at the Etihad. Declan Murphy, what have you got for us?
Well, Brahim Diaz has come off, and it is Kylian Mbappe that's come on. And since that change has been made, Chouameni off of a corner. He had a brilliant header that was saved by Donnarumma and put out for another corner. Mbappe, he's just had a chance there it's flown very wide. But yeah, Mbappe's on his first game back after injury. So yeah, should be a good last 20 minutes or so.
See Mbappe coming back from that injury. That's when you're Manchester City, even though you've got the most money arguably in the world and some big players. No team wants to see Kylian Mbappe come onto the pitch, do they?
No, especially when you're 3 goals down at home in this UCL tie. They're going to be probably going out the Champions League. Mbappe is the worst player they could probably bring on, honestly, at this point in time. But yeah, still not really much chances going on, honestly. But I think Mbappe's just going on to get a bit of fitness in the legs, and yeah, hopefully his season kicks on from here.
And we're going to go to Farnborough versus Dagenham and Redbridge now. Ashley Whiteway.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks, David, and everyone else in the studio. You join me here now. There's been another goal. So I've got 5 goals here at the moment. Farnborough have come back and got a second goal here, and they look like they could be after another equaliser. I'm just over to my left-hand side trying to see it now, but the goal scorer here, of course, being Wesley Funko. So he scores a goal in top right corner, and of course he's done really well to get to top right corner. He's just done an amazing job, and it seems like exciting set up for the last 10 minutes here. So what happens here? I wouldn't be surprised if you're coming back to me in another 10 minutes, lad. And when you come back to me, I'll be screaming with the others in the background because it'll be 3-3. But at the moment, it is 3-2. 3-2, Dagenham and Redbridge, Farnborough. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers for that, Ashley. And we're going to go back to Kettering Town. We're not going to go back to Kettering Town. We've got some gremlins in the system. We'll go back to Stamford Bridge, Josh. How is the action going on there? And have PSG look like they're going to keep killing that game off, or Chelsea, just like we touched on earlier, they're just completely given up and gone home?
Garnacho just actually had a chance right as you went to me, but the game looks pretty finished, David. I mean, I'd say Chelsea have had the better chances of the two. Caicedo a minute ago flashed quite a powerful shot, hard and low, just past the post from around the edge of the box, but PSG have brung off all their big guns now. Dembele's gone. Kvaratskhelia has just gone off to a standing ovation from the away end. And I think both teams are pretty much accepting that the game's done. Liam Delap's come on and sort of smashed into a few players, held the ball up quite nicely. But, I mean, PSG are quite happy just to hold on to the ball. And with 15 minutes left, they're 3-0 up, 8-1 aggregate. I mean, it's an ideal situation for the European champions.
Cheers for that, Josh. And in the Championship, it's currently Watford 2, Wrexham 1. 4 minutes to go in that one, Max. Is it still looking like Watford are going to see the game out?
I mean, Wrexham have been really pressing on. I think, you know, I've hardly seen the ball inside the Wrexham half since about minute 60 of the match. Again, talking about Kabore, also the man on the left-hand side, Thomason, who was bought from Bolton as a central midfielder since Kakasse's got the injury. The first team left back for Wrexham, he's been deployed as that wing back, and again he's looked like the man who's going to source some sort of chance or goal, as Jay Rodriguez, who sort of was almost like taken out of the squad in the first part of the season, has just come on for centre back Zach Viner. So you can see where Wrexham what they want to be doing, which is going on and scoring a goal. But yeah, Watford again, they've sort of held back, gone in their shell, just trying to hold on to the 2-1 lead.
And going down to League 2 at Broadfield Road, there has been a late penalty between Crawley Town and Barnet. Max Parsons-Williams and Luke Upton.
Yeah, finally, what Crawley have been calling for the last 90 minutes since Christmas. They have finally got their goal. Only their 4th game that they've scored since February 1st, but they finally got their breakthrough. It's 1-1 now. Really, really good play from Kellen Gordon as he broke through from the corner. Brought down by the Barnet substitute, Anthony Hartigan, and as he would, the referee took himself a couple of minutes to give the penalty, eventually did, pointing to the spot and send that Crawley faithful up to our right into jubilation. The penalty was coolly slotted away. A full 22-man brawl broke out after, but this is big for the relegation battle. Luke, what does it mean?
Oh, well, it's massive because even better news, Bromley have just scored to Newport County, and obviously Crawley's point means they go above the relegation. They climb out of the relegation zone, which is massive for these fans. You can see the absolute atmosphere here. It was wild. It means so much, and the energy is huge.
Back to you in the studio.
Cheers for that, Max and Luke. We're now going to go back to Plough Lane. Darcy Harris Norman.
Hello, yes, I am here. The score is still the same with AFC Wimbledon 2, Leyton Orient 4. However, we have all the away fans chanting, "We are staying up," and that is looking better for Leyton Orient. This win is putting them to 16th, only 2 places behind behind AFC Wimbledon, who are now 14th. And Leyton Orient now have 45 points, currently sitting with only 1 minute left of full time. AFC Wimbledon today have had 8,275 fans here in the stadium. However, that is starting to rapidly decrease as a lot of AFC Wimbledon fans are starting to get frustrated and have left the stadium. And hat-trick hero Ballard did leave the pitch on the 83rd minute with discomfort looking towards his leg, but he was given a standing ovation, and I'm sure he's very happy with his performance today. Like I said, the score is AFC Wimbledon 2, Leyton Orient 4, and we are in the 89th minute. So, AFC Wimbledon are by the goal. Shot blocked by the Leyton Orient goalkeeper. They're still in the box. However, it is being blocked away by the defender and they're awarded with a corner. AFC Wimbledon fans are very up for this opportunity. However, there's been 6 minutes awarded extra time. I'll let you know if anything else happens, but at the moment it's looking like Leyton Orient are definitely going to comfortable with this win.
Thanks, Darcy. And now to the White Home Stadium in Dorset. Harvey, Heaven and Sam watching Wimborne against Walton and Hersham.
And that's it. It's 4-1 here at Wimborne Town. Walton and Hersham go away with the 3 points. 15 points clear now at the head of the top of the table. They definitely, well, look at that big flag coming by. They're certainly happy this evening. 15 points clear at the top of the table. Certainly looks like they may be going up this season. And Sam, what do you make of the game?
Well, it was a close game until it wasn't. It really looked like we were having a competitive match here until just 5 minutes by Walton. 2 goals back to back, and that just ended the game, didn't it?
100%. Rogalski again on the score sheet. That's him still being the top goal scorer for Walton and Hersham this season. What of a difference of an impact did he make today? You can see why he's got that many goals for them. Right place, right time, all game, was it? And he's clearly for this level, he's a great centre forward. I think it would be kind of harsh to say that was a deserved win for Walton and Hersham. Definitely clinical, but Wimborne definitely put up a fight, didn't they?
Yeah, I think on the balance of the game until that 5 minutes near the end, you really could have seen Wimborne getting an equaliser, but obviously that isn't what happened, and we stand here and the Swans are 4-1 winners.
And Heaven, of course, at half time you had the burger. We've got to talk about the burger.
Right,
got any other thoughts about it?
You know what? It started to get better as I finished eating it, which was off camera. I took one bite.
Maybe it was the stress of being on camera.
It might have been, no, but it was a good burger, honestly, but the football was better to watch. It was very entertaining. Definitely very different to how it is in Canada, a lot more intense. And regardless of the league, I think the performance was a lot better.
Oh, you like to come back, not necessarily here, but to other non-league games?
Why not?
Yeah.
Never say never.
100%. Well, that's it here. Thank you for watching. We are at Wimborne Town, where they lost 4-1 to Walton and Hersham tonight. Back to the studio.
Cheers for that, Harvey. And yeah, Walton and Hersham extending their points tally at the top of the Southern Premier Division South. But we're going to go to Latimer Park now, where Riven Corbett is at Kettering Town versus AFC Sudbury.
Yeah, it's 6-0 now to Kettering Town. Really enjoyed this one. The home fans been loud and proud in that home end. And yeah, it was Eddie Panther once again now with a brace for the evening. A good showing from the home side. After beating Sudbury on Saturday away, they're doing it again at home and really putting on a fine performance. And so far this match has been arguably better than the Chips really at half-time. A close second would be the drive here, but I'm not sure. But the drive back should be pretty good as well. 6-0 for Kettering Town here. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Riven. And we are now going to go back to the National League South at York Road. It's Maidenhead against Ebbsfleet United. Marcus Mansfield.
Thank you, David. What a second half we had here at York Road. Following a sort of slow first half where Ebbsfleet took the lead thanks to brilliance from Josh Crawley. The Magpies came out in the second half looking to get back on terms, and they very nearly did with a few opportunities, sort of half chances, but it was the visitors who doubled their lead. Once again, the catalyst, Josh Crawley, whose neat footwork allowed him to find Toby Edser, who curled his effort from the edge of the area past the full stretch Van Stappershoff in the net of the Maidenhead goal to give the visitors a 2-0 lead before they were awarded a penalty in the last 10 minutes or so, where Kwesi Appiah stepped up and smashed the ball into the top right-hand corner to give the visitors what looked to be an unassailable 3-0 lead. And then we had 5 minutes of added time. And then in the 91st minute, the home fans finally had something to cheer about when Liam Dawson found space on the edge of the area before driving towards the right corner flag and then unleashing a low, powerful strike across goal into the bottom left-hand corner to give the Magpies a lifeline before what looked to be potential catalyst to get an unlikely result here. The Magpies scored a second thanks to Matt Robinson being in the right place at the right time after the ball dropped in the middle of the area following a cross in from the left. He was on hand to smash the ball into the back of the net. But unfortunately for the Magpies, it was too little too late here as Ebbsfleet run away 3-2 winners and leapfrog the home side today into 4th position in the National League standings. Maidenhead United 2, Ebbsfleet United 3. Full time here. Back to you guys in the studio.
Cheers, Marcus. And there has been a goal at Vicarage Road. Max Cochran.
Yes, Watford have sealed the 3 points, and it's actually quite a nice story. Firstly, it was Dumbia who was down the right-hand side, just cut in along the byline, almost flashed his shot across the face of goal. It rebounded back to Mark Bowler, who on the edge of the box, struck a volley so sweetly, hit the crossbar, but bounced back to Eduardo Bove, who has scored his first goal since his heart issue when playing for Fiorentina about a year ago. So for him and for his family and friends and all that, that's such a great story for the Italian to score a goal after what happened to him about a year ago.
Yeah, great story there. Obviously, Bove couldn't play in Serie A. He's come over to England and he's gone and got his first goal for the Hornets. But we're going to go back to the National League South now, where Ben Gronin's reporting on Chesham against AFC Totton.
Yes, David. I was actually here to report on an AFC Tottenham equaliser as they made it 1-1 in the 92nd minute. They have in fact just made it 2-1. The red card received by Chesham just 10 minutes ago on the scrap in the middle of the field.
In the 7th minute of added time, number 10,
Absolute scenes here at the Meadow. The first goal came on the right-hand side. First goal came on the right-hand side. Ball headed down straight to Ashley Clark, who struck in the bottom right corner. Bit of a scrappy goal, but Tottenham fans didn't care. And then just now, just some excellent play again from Tottenham. You can tell they've been very lively. They've been knocking on the door ever since Chesham scored that opener. And they eventually got their rewards as Tony Lee struck. And that is the full-time whistle now. Chesham United 1, AFC Tottenham 2. Back in the studio.
Cheers, Ben. And we're going to go to Josh White-Jones, who's at Stamford Bridge. There's been an unfortunate situation there with Trevor Chalobah. What's going on, Josh?
Yeah, we just had about a 2-minute stoppage in play, and I wasn't overly sure on what happened, but Trevor Chalobah was in quite serious pain, and we've just rewinded it, had a look. He was on the ball and about the edge of the box, and Akraf Hakimi's come over, he's pressed him, no intent in it, but he's almost fell on Chalobah, and it looks like Chalobah has either done something to his knee or his arm. I think he may have done something quite serious to his knee. Chalobah was in a lot of pain, and we've had a 2-minute stoppage, and he's been stretchered off in quite a bit of agony. So Chalobah's off now. Chelsea not got much to play for. 5 minutes left of normal time, and Stamford Bridge is emptied out. But sad to see quite a serious injury to Chalobah, but I'm not sure overly what body part it was, but it looked quite bad. Yeah, we'll get more of an update at that shortly. Obviously not an ideal night for Chelsea. Another sucker punch there with Trevor Chalobah coming off injured. But we're going to go across to Solent to Isle of Wight to Alfie Faulkner, who's reporting on East Cow's Victoria against AFC Stoneham.
Yes, it's full time over here now, David. And unfortunately, it's a disappointing afternoon for the home side. 2-0 battering to Stoneham. Definitely showing why they are top of the table after all. That first half was shaky, but the second half was definitely their redemption. And fans have already cleared out, and fingers crossed. But Stoneham are back here on the island sooner or later for the Cal Sports FC game. So, will they dominate the island or not is the biggest question, David.
Cheers for that, Alfie. And going back to that Real Madrid-Manchester City game at the Etihad, I believe, Declan, you're getting a bit bored sat there. You've had 3 disallowed goals. Just talk me through as to why they've been disallowed.
A lot of them are just offsides. There was Cherky, Valverde. We've had Doku with disallowed goals. It's not been an entertaining half, I'll say that. It's just very, very annoying when you get a disallowed goal. And I just think they're not being looked at by VAR as far as I know of either, so they must be clear and obvious. But to me, watching it, I don't see how all of them are offside. But yeah, I think there's only 5 minutes, give or so, left of the regular time. All subs have been used now. I don't think Man City will be playing in the Champions League for the rest of this season, and I think Real Madrid have comfortably got through this game here without a scare, to be honest.
Going back to the Championship, it's full time at Vicarage Road. Max Cochran.
Yeah, well, Watford went into half-time with a 2-goal lead thanks to fullback Mark Bowler and striker Kayembe. But there was hope restored for Wrexham when Max Cleworth headed in a goal just 5 minutes into second half. But it was all obviously at the end with Bove getting that, the goal for him, which would have been so special for him to come back after what happened, to him in Italy, such a serious, thing, and then getting that goal. But that win for Watford leaves them 5 points away from Wrexham, 5 points away from the playoff places. So, the season isn't over for them just yet.
Yeah, great moment there for Eduardo Bove and Ed Steele's side, who are now pushing further up the table. We're going to go down to League Two to the Broadfield Stadium. Max Parsons-Williams and Luke Upton.
As Franz Ferdinand, take me out, rings out round Crawley. That is full time. Crawley 1, Barnet 1. It was a late smash and grab equaliser for Crawley, but it's not really enough. It was It was Helen Gordon that was taken down late after a Crawley corner, and we're used to seeing number 9 score. This time it's 99. Danilo Orson slotted the penalty home. That started a massive brawl in the corner of the pitch just opposite us now. It's not the ideal result for Crawley. They need to pick up more points at home, but it's only their 4th time scoring since the 1st of February, so it's still positives to take. Luke, where does that leave the table?
Well, Crawley are out of the relegation zone. I mean, it wasn't a great performance. My heart is racing, but looking back across the whole 90, it was disappointing. But they'll just be glad to be out of the relegation zone. Only on goal difference, they're only 4 goals above relegation. But being out of it is being out of it, and they're just glad to not be there anymore. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, guys. We're going to go back to Plough Lane. AFC Wimbledon against Leyton Orient. Darcy Harris-Norman.
Hello, I'm here at Plough Lane for full time, and the score was AFC Wimbledon 2, Leyton Orient 4. As you can hear, the Leyton Orient fans are getting escorted out, but they are in such high morale because they have now got their 3rd win on a trot. It comes at AFC Wimbledon have had their 2nd lose on a trot. However, when we look at the game, although the second half seemed very much in Leyton Orient's hands, it wasn't also replicated like that. AFC Wimbledon had more touches in the box. They had 34 touches in the box compared to Leyton Orient's 20, which then is showing some real issues considering they've only scored 2 goals and both were in the first half. This has now left Leyton Orient in a very good stead as they are now 16th on the table, and that's only 2 places behind AFC Wimbledon. Like I said, AFC Wimbledon are going to be very disappointed, having lost 2 games now in a stint. And it's now time to... It was the problem here seemed to be in the attacking third. But like I said, for Leyton Orient, this is a massive win. So yes, that is AFC Wimbledon 2, Leyton Orient 4, and that is me from today. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Darcy. And we're going to go back to Kettering Town. Riven Corbett reporting on Kettering against AFC Sudbury.
Yeah, all good, sorry. Yeah, no, it ended 6-0 here against AFC Sudbury for Kettering Town. A good showing from the home side, and the home fans were in full force all the way through and got really excited down the stretch. Eddie Pranter with the brace, and I think came away with man of the match in the end. And all 645 fans and probably 15 Sudbury fans, so roughly about 630 of them could at least enjoy the trip back. But a good showing all around and a good game of football here. 6-0 Kettering against AFC Sudbury. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Riven, and it's been full time at Stamford Bridge. Josh White-Jones, it's not gone Chelsea's way tonight, but it's certainly gone the way of Luis Enrique's side.
Yeah, that was a real tie of, the European champions flexing their muscles a little bit. I think a lot of the work was done in the previous leg, but the start of the game really set the tone. 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. I don't think Chelsea were going to come back from that. And really, if you're PSG, you're delighted. 3 goals and a really dominant performance. I think it was just a really free-flowing game where they just looked like a team that could win the trophy. And I think now going forward, I mentioned they're going to play the winner of Galatasaray and Liverpool. You'd probably back them for that. So they're just celebrating in front of their fans. A lot of smiles on faces, a really good performance. And if you're Chelsea, you're disappointed, but your focus is now on the Premier League and maybe even winning the FA Cup.
Cheers, Josh. We're going to go to the Memorial Stadium now. Bristol Rovers against Shrewsbury Town. James McLean.
Thank you, David. After 10 minutes of injury time, the full-time whistle's finally gone here at Memorial Stadium. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. Shrewsbury will be very disappointed to not have taken at least a point from that. Their streak of failing to beat Bristol Rovers has extended to 6 games. They'll be having frowns on their way back up the M5. And it's finished here at the Memorial Stadium. Bristol Rovers 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. Back to the studio.
And it's still not done.
Cheers, James. And our correspondent to my left, Max Cochrane's going to take us through the action from League One to the National League South. Max, what's happened firstly in the third tier of English football?
Well, in fact, the top 5 who started in the top 5, none of them were victorious tonight, with Cardiff losing at home.
There's been a goal at Real Madrid. There's been a goal at Real Madrid. Manchester City at the Etihad. Declan Murphy.
In last minute, well, there's been 3 minutes of added time. The first minute of that, and Vinny scored. It was a terrible goal, honestly. It practically rolled out to him, and he's just walked into the goal. And he stood in front of the Man City fans, and he's literally got his shirt, and he's put his name towards them all. And Donnarumma's come up to him and gone, basically, what are you doing? Like, the whole game, I've been saying it, he's been a bit of a rat, to be honest with you. If he's on your team, you love him.
He's offside.
He might be offside again. But Donnarumma saved it with his feet, and then Vinny's literally just walked in. But he's celebrating in front of the City fans. Honestly, I don't know why he's doing it. Like, he's trying to antagonise all the fans, I think. I think the referee's giving it. Is it offside?
He's offside.
Oh, it is offside. That's another offside goal today.
I think the question is, it can't go on like this, can it, Declan?
It can.
And it certainly has at the Etihad. But it is full time at the Emirates Stadium. It's finished Arsenal 2 by Leverkusen 0. Later, what's your analysis on that game at the Emirates?
It started really slow and ended the same. It just fizzled out after Declan Rice scored that second goal. Nothing really looked like it was going to happen. Arsenal have won 3-1 as they have controlled yet another game, and as it goes back to the question, are Arsenal controlling games to a safe point, or are they controlling them so much that they're not looking like scoring during games? But they've come out of this game as 2-0 winners as Arteta grabs Saka and hugs him. Fans are streaming out. They've just won the game and fans are streaming out. Don't know if that's whether they want to get the tube, but they're obviously not celebrating with their players. But they are streaming out. Arsenal have finished 2-0 winners here, 3-1 on aggregate. Arsenal are through to the next round.
Yeah, Arsenal on course for that quadruple, but that is...
There's been a goal again.
Is it going to be offside again, though?
Vinny's put the ball in the net.
Are you wasting my time here again?
Vinny has put the ball in the net in the 93rd minute. The linesman hasn't put his flag on it straight away, so I presume it's going to be a goal. There might be a replay of it. They've just shown Pep. The City fans, a lot of them have already gone, so there's not many of them there. It was a good cross in, and Vinny's just tapped it home, and 2-1 on the night, 5 on an aggregate, and I think that'll be game over and done with.
Yeah, that will be it there. We actually had a goal that was not offside at the Etihad. But that is all the action that we have here for you. We are wrapped up here for Solent Soccer Night. It's been an exciting evening of footballing action to report on for you here on Solent Sports News. I've been your host, David Howes, and joined me has been Declan Murphy. Declan, thank you for coming on tonight.
Cheers, David.
And Leighton, a pleasure as always reporting on the Arsenal game this evening.
Thank you, been a great night.
And Josh White-Jones, pleasure having you on tonight, mate, reporting on Chelsea.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And Max Cochrane, you've been very busy this evening. First Sporting against Bodo Glimt and now Watford against Wrexham. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you this evening.
David, thank you for having me.
That's all we've got time for this evening. We've been reporting from the Champions League as well as our Solent correspondents up and down the country. Remember, you can keep up to date with our latest news 24 hours a day on our very own Solent Sports News website. Stay safe this St. Patrick's Day and good night from all our team.